everybody hear us? We're live. Are we live?
Are there any delays?
Let's see, anybody in the comment section there?
Oh, I had it on private chat.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Yep.
Oh, Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Just got a text from our special guest. He'll be he or she will be coming soon.
Nice.
We have our holiday beverages here. Mine is in a Hallmark Channel mug.
I have what do I have here? I have a Emma Reichart Gewürztraminer. I went Trader Joe's Fabulous in my Pier 1 glass.
There you go. So yeah, we just thought we would come on here and just chat and talk some holiday fragrances and take some questions and just kind of be really laid back and just kind of go with the flow of things.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I know you have some stuff you want to unbox on camera. Should we wait? Should we wait to do that, or?
I don't know. Do you guys want to do an unboxing, or do you want to do some other things? I have a little box of candles over here that just came in yesterday, so I'd say let's do that. I think that sounds like fun.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to smell these things. I have not smelled them, but I did get the box ready to go. Okay, so what do I start with? I'm going to start with Brett's biggest recommendation to me. So I did another Kringle order. So I picked up Christmas Stroll, and Brett was telling me that this one was amazing. So I haven't smelled it. Oh, it smells like a wreath. It really smells like a wreath.
Like a wreath, yeah. And a little bit of here too. I burned mine today. A little bit of that
what is that in there?
Like an alcoholic cider type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Well, now I have to look up the scent notes. Hold, please. Kringle.
Let's see here. Tiffany, hi. April, hi. Let me see all the chats in here.
Oh, that's really nice. The more I smell this, the more I like it. Oh, okay. A little close. That's fine. Okay, that was totally worth it. Thanks for pushing it.
Yeah. we need to talk about your little Kringle renaissance or your Kringle rekindling.
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't have good luck with them in the past. And actually, I think it was it 2016? I purchased a bunch of stuff from Kringle, and because Mick was nice enough to put out a 40% off coupon code, and I was like, oh, I know nothing about this candle company. I'll just order a bunch of stuff. And at the time, they were still doing the paraffin in this style of jar, and it just was super sooty for me. It was messy, and then I really couldn't smell. The fragrances I thought were good, the blends I liked, but I just wasn't getting a great performance out of them. They weren't super strong in terms of strength and throw. And then I was really struggling with the sooting. That was my biggest issue with them. But this formula for me, it doesn't soot at all. It's so clean. And I can burn it for hours without any type of residue or darkening of the glass. It's a totally different candle from what I had before. So I'm definitely glad I gave them another chance, because I was very much I'm good. But they're totally different, you guys. If you had the same experience as me, you should try them again. They really improved the product vastly from what they were before.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I didn't think I was going to like this because of the juniper. It's the juniper and laurel.
If I had to guess, I would say that's their #1 new bestseller, new release this year, because I have seen nothing but positive reviews.
Yeah, that's
all over social
really
media.
Nice. It's very fresh. This one is it's outdoorsy, but without the addition of that typical mint or peppermint that they like to add in to make it a cooler scent. That's really nice. I like how real and fresh these smell. It's totally different from the Christmas Stroll too, but they're both 3 cents. It's crazy.
And you just did a review on the balsam fir, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the balsam fir I really like a lot, but I heard it's different in the different formats.
Yeah, the Kringle versions to me smells more like the Times version. If you've ever
Okay.
had Times Fraser fir,
Uh-huh.
where like the country one is more earthy, more woody.
Right.
That's what I get out of that one there.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Snowcap Fraser. Susan, I'm burning that one right now downstairs. It's so good. It's been going for like 6 hours. And it like there's no darkening of the wax. It's just blowing my mind. Like the wax
Yeah.
just doesn't change color. But the 3 wicks, if I leave those for more than like about 3 hours, I'm getting some discoloration on the wax there. How do you do with the 3 wicks? Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. Yeah. I think there's kind of a delay. Maybe
Is there a little delay? Oh, shoot.
There might be a little chat in the delay. But we're not going to talk just Kringle tonight. We're going to talk. I've got some homework stuff to talk about here. Some Yankee stuff, Bath and Body Works, which we might kick that off here because I know someone requested us talk about the Bath and Body Works shenanigans or price gouging lately, whatever you want to call it, really.
Yeah.
And of course, I got some other things there too. But so, did you partake in Candle Day at all? No.
You?
Yeah, I got 4 candles, and I'm not even sure if I like all 4 of them really.
Really? Did you use the coupon?
Tiffany's like, let's not talk about Bath and Body Works.
Tiffany's pissed.
All right to be. I mean, okay. So let's just take. I have a candle here. So this is a homework candle here, right? So this is in a trio, right? Say about individually they're like what, $17 to $20 right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that a 14-ounce candle of this size, you're going to put on sale for $18 or $16.50 when I can go for a few more bucks and get this. It's 4 ounces more. It's beefier. It's probably a better scent at some point too.
Yeah.
And go from there. So I don't know what they're thinking. And $26.50 on the new ones going into the new year.
Is that right?
Yeah. If you look at the new core collection coming out for 2022, $26.50. So that's what, 2 price increases in a year.
Yeah. So they increased it another $1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, honestly, I've actually done pretty good with my last couple. I've been able to like burn them the whole way down. I haven't stuck them in the candle crock at the halfway point. So that's good. I'm seeing like a little bit of improvement and actually being able to like burn the candles finished again. But like, it's super frustrating to have that much of a price increase. There's no justification for it.
No, they're made in this country, right? So they're not having to do shipping delays, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The supplies, do you think the supplies are that drastically different to warrant that much of a price increase in like 2 years? I don't think so. I mean, not at the volume that they're doing, because we know they crank these things out, like they're making a fortune on these.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the point. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they might see folks, at least in the candle community, buying less and less.
Yeah.
But they'll still get those folks off the street looking for a gift or whatnot, and they'll bop in and they'll use their coupon and they'll pay for it there. That's kind of what Yankee does too, right? I mean, Yankee, they've had a couple price increases too. They're $31 for a full size jar. Even Kringle, they just had a huge price increase a few months back.
Yeah.
But they were able to keep that price, that $27.50 price for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And we had the $24.50 price from Bath and Body Works for what, like 4 years, and they went to $25.50, and now we're at $26.50. And then they add in the extra $1 for those special lids.
It's insane. That's insane. Like I'm not paying for a lid.
No, I know.
Waiting for Slatkin and Co. I am too. I want to know what Harry's doing with that.
Yeah, so that was your big breaking news, right? You did that live with Harry a few weeks back on Instagram.
Yeah.
And dropped that bombshell.
Yeah. He didn't really get too much into it. I think they might still be kind of like figuring this whole thing out. but I am very curious to see if there's going to be like, what that's going to look like, whether there will be like a slack in line and then homeworks, scent works, aroma works underneath it. Like, is that going to be like the umbrella with its own additional line? Or I really want to know what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but should we let our special guest in?
Sure.
What does our special guest think? Can they shake their head? All right, let's pop them in for a little bit here.
Yes.
Hello, how are you? I know.
Hey, Mick.
How are you?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it took me a little while. I was having some technical difficulties.
I was
No,
too.
That's fine.
All right. Well, how's your night going so far?
Going good.
Doing good. Just sitting
Yeah.
here chatting, all things candles, whatnot.
Mhm.
Excellent. Well, what did I miss? What did I miss?
Let's see. We talked price increase so far in Bath and Body Works. Again.
Industry-wide.
Again.
Yes.
Oh, Melanie finally unboxed a little bit of your stuff.
Got-
I got her.
Yeah, I got a few more down here. Brett made me buy the Christmas stroll because he's been trying to me into buying this one for a long time, and I really like it. It smells like a wreath.
Yep.
It's amazing.
That one's been in the line since 2010. That one's an original.
Yeah, that one's really, really nice, and I love this, as does everybody else. Juniper and laurel.
Yeah, that one seems to have really hit off this year. I'm not surprised, but it's a good one. My girlfriend really likes that one too.
That one's amazing. And then Snow-Capped Fraser, which I'm burning downstairs. I love that. That has to stick around.
I watched your review on that, and you have inspired me to take another look at the formula to see if we can make it a little stronger for you for next year.
Little more oomph on that one, and that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny. Good. It's so funny because we actually use that particular fragrance, or we have used it for the last 5 or 6 years now as our benchmark fragrance when testing other candles. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's our lab's my lab manager's favorite fragrance to use as a benchmark to test strength in other candles. So we use that as his okay, I know this fragrance, I know how it performs, and I know what to expect, so that I can benchmark it against every other candle as kind of like is this one stronger? Is it lighter? So we use benchmark testing just so that we can establish what we would consider a good performing fragrance. So I'm surprised that you're not having as good of an experience as I would have expected you to have.
Yeah, like it's not that it's bad. I wish it had a little bit more oomph to it. Nothing needs to be changed about the scent at all. It's the strength and a little bit more throw would just make it absolutely perfect.
Sure. So I'm working on a new project with the lab for next year, and we're working on tweaking some of our solvent systems for the new soy wax. So we make over 100 different fragrances that we keep in our line every year between Kringle and Country. I think it's 120. So that's a lot of development time to change all of the solvent systems when you implement a new wax. So we're working on a tweak that's going to, it's getting a little technical, but increase the vapor pressure of the fragrance so that it evaporates off the surface of the wax a little bit easier, so that it gets into the room a little bit. So a little bit stronger and faster. So that's my new technical jargon that I'm working on for next year.
So speaking of stronger, I just put a comment here from Heather about the new Silent Night, Bayberry being off the chart strength-wise.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Absolutely. I cannot agree.
I'm glad you like that one. That one was a cool one. I was worried people were gonna get the Silent Night jar and say what was wrong with the printing on it, because it's like a little more muted in terms of the colors. And we did that intentionally so that we didn't put white behind all of the colors that we paint on it, so that when the candle burns, it glows like stained glass. But when it's not lit, it doesn't look as bright.
Yeah, this is one I haven't burned. I have another one that I have burned of this one, and yeah, it does look like stained glass there. And interesting, bold choice, really. I applaud you for going with the Christianity, the actual, a church
Yeah,
mosaic. Most companies wouldn't go that.
I know. It's we have a really diverse team at Kringle, so we have some people that are from all different faiths and groups, and they were kind of hoping that we would have a little bit more of that, and we tried it, and actually it sold out first, which was a little surprising to me.
Not to me. I called it.
Yeah, you did, but it's doing really well, and we haven't gotten any backlash for it. Hopefully, we can have something for everybody. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
I like that.
So what else is new? Tell me what's going on with the two of you.
Getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So in my world, we're working on all spring fragrances now. So I'm like seasons ahead because the delay in development, it takes so long to get everything going that we're working on all of our new spring stuff. So
Do you have any good gourmands coming out for the spring?
I think that you'll be very happy with a few of them. I shared a few of the images with Brett. Let's see if I can pull them up. The marketing team will get really pissed at me if I share these.
I was sworn to secrecy, guys. I'm sorry.
I know. Let me see. Where did I send this? Anyway, you guys continue with that, man. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
All right. Rose fragrances for spring. We're looking for some rose fragrances.
Yep. Rose is coming back around. It's interesting how fragrances kind of come in and out of style with generation.
I love rose. Rose perfumes are like my favorites. Like anything that has like a nice kind of modern rose in it, like I'm all over that. Love it.
I can definitely see that coming. All right, let me see. Let's see what we got here. We've got let's see if you can see this. I'm gonna have to turn down my brightness. Hold on.
I want to see.
Someone said strawberry. Question mark.
Strawberry would be good.
Floral Bakery. Yeah, Floral Bakery is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so for strawberry, we are working on a
yes,
strawberry tart.
Yes.
So this one's really pretty.
That's
strawberry mint tart. We've got spiral aloe, which is a very pretty
That's
label.
Label.
I know these aren't your favorite, I know these aren't your favorite jars, Melanie, but
they're not my favorite jars. But that's the labels. You guys do really good with labels. Like that's one of the things that's always impressed me. Oh, that's cute too. That looks delicious.
This is one of my favorites out of the new group. It's a dragon fruit lemonade. This
pretty. Oh, I bet that's really good.
A very unique fragrance. Kind of a cool concept that we have coming. Sunday Fun Day.
Oh, cute. Is that like a mimosa or like?
Exactly.
Okay. I like it.
It's a mixture of drinks, but one of the things I'm most excited about is our designs for the new Kringle line for 2022. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming. Let me see if I have. Let's see. Pull it up.
Any lime or lemon coming? We have a request for lime. Yes. Lemon.
Let's see.
Lemonade.
I wish that I could show you everything, but we've got 80 fragrances coming next year, hopefully. Yeah, it's a lot. It's unreal. It's bigger and crazier than.
Where are you getting 80 fragrances from?
I know. My lab team is literally like trying to kill me. I'm not happy with how much development we're doing.
That's so cool.
One of the interesting things we're doing for next year, though, is that all the Kringle labels are going to have a painterly look. So they're all canvas paintings on labels instead of photographs. So it's taking a completely different turn. It's not that we're going to eliminate photographs from the label altogether, but next year, all the newness that we have in the Kringle line is going to be paintings. So this is one example. I know that's hard to say, very pretty. They're all on canvas. They're all painted.
Is the label?
That's a cereal candle. Candle.
Yeah. That's
going to drive people crazy. People are going to love that one.
Yeah. This one is actually really interesting. I have this one burning right now. It's hard to see. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all backwards. There we go.
That's beautiful.
Essentials, but
Ooh.
it's just a unique take. I have that one right here. It's just a unique take on all of the labels just being like an artist line. So everything looks painted. So this is just an in-house label that we print on, just in-house printers. So that's why you can see it kind of glowing through like paper. But this one's really pretty. It's a bright citrus. If I had to liken it to anything on the market, I'd probably say it's similar to like Volcano.
Oh, that's Melody's one of her favorites.
I am here. I will buy them all.
I'll have to send you something.
Does it burn better than Volcano? Because that thing is just a dumpster fire when you're burning it. It's so awful. It just tunnels. You can never get it to burn right.
You know how these ones burn. They don't tunnel.
They don't. They're so good.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving them lit for a lot longer.
Good.
Like 6-7 hours, and still no problems. There's no sooting. I don't know how it's not happening. It's so good.
I don't want to admit it, but sometimes I let these things go like overnight.
Yeah.
And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that in my kitchen, and they're burning perfectly.
Yeah.
They don't change. They do not change.
So are the labels gonna stay the same for the existing Kringles, or are they gonna eventually transition also?
No, they're going to stay the same. So this is just
Okay.
for newness. This is like
Gotcha.
my 2022 trend that I'm trying to kind of follow. It's just more of an artistic approach. But one of the other cool things that we're launching is an extension of the Halloween line. So I think you might have seen some test pictures that I've posted in a couple of the groups where we're going to do the same jar as the Halloween line. So it's going to be black, and we're going to do a black label Kringle. We're calling it the Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
And this is going to be our expansion into a much more expensive fragrance oil genre. So the Reserve line, we're upping our fragrance spend by about 4 times. So you can actually, if I could go into how fragrance oils work. So typically candle companies will set a maximum that they're willing to spend per pound of fragrance oil, and then they use it in the candle at a certain percentage. You could buy a candle at Walmart that's $3 a pound fragrance oil used at 5%, and you don't really smell it. Or you could buy a candle that's $3 a pound of fragrance oil used at 20%, and you still won't smell it. We use fragrance oils that are very expensive and pure, but this line, we're expanding into the more luxury notes. So it's still going to be highly concentrated, just like the fragrance oils that we have, except it opens up a whole new palette of really expensive ingredients like sandalwoods and just more luxury notes. I can't go into too many details without my extensive notes with me, but it's going to be interesting. They're going to smell a little more luxury. They'll be a little stronger, hopefully. That's not a guarantee when you use more expensive ingredients. It's just the aroma type is going to be a little bit more luxury. But they'll be black, they'll be beautiful. There's really cool graphics that we have, and I'm excited. It's called the Kringle Reserve line. So my marketing team's going to kill me for sharing this with you. But Grace, don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Is this the same one with that like cheeseburger label you showed off?
It is.
That one, okay.
That one's not so luxury. That one's just have you heard of unicorn poop? Do you remember?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
We
talked about it.
That was
Yeah,
like
we
our
talked
most,
about that. Yeah.
that was our most viral candle that we ever had. I mean, that thing was like all over the internet. It was crazy. We only had it available for 24 hours for pre-order, and we sold more of them than we could have made in that year. In that 24 hours, it was insane. And we've never made it since. And then people bought them for, I think they were selling for $19.99 on pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
People are selling them for like $300 on eBay and actually selling. It's crazy.
That's not.
But we didn't want to like relaunch it and then kill everybody's secondary value. But
Yeah.
my thought was that, sometimes you got to just throw crazy stuff out there. And it was a cheeseburger fragrance that was called Late Night. You didn't see that one, did you? I don't think so. I'm still working on it. It's going to come at some point. It's not quite hitting the mark for me yet. If I have the picture, I'll pull it up for you. Oh boy, let's see. My internet is going slow here.
And someone said they're still vying for that tomato vine scent. I know we talked about that on the last live. You said you had a bunch of those, but they never make the cut for some reason.
They never tend to make the cut. Okay, here's. Oh, this is going to be hard for everyone to see. I don't know if you can see how. Let's see. So.
Oh, those are pretty. I like the background. I like that.
So we're going to use a lot of metallics in this line. So they're going to really jump off the background. And this was our first take on concepts. So we're going to add additional ones in. You can see the late night is the last one on this side right here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's like grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but it'll be interesting. You know, the weird ones tend to be the ones that sell the best.
Yeah. People like different, unique, because honestly, we get a lot of the same stuff over and over again. And some of that I think is great because we all have our favorites. Like I would be very upset if I couldn't get my favorites anymore. But I do think it's very intriguing to have something that like nobody else has done and that's like super unique.
What do you think is the most unique candle fragrance out there in the market you've seen?
You know what I really have kind of been wanting to get into is like getting dupes of like high-end fragrances in candle format. Sure. Like that's kind of my rabbit hole for the last couple of weeks is like, I love perfume. Like I have a huge collection and there are several candle companies now that are starting to do dupes for a lot of like popular high-end fragrances. And so I'm kind of like,
what would you like to see?
I would like to see a dupe for the Baccarat Rouge 540. You should look into that because I guarantee you would be rich off just that candle. People love that perfume and it's incredible. Like it's such an amazing scent. That's worth looking into.
Baccarat Rouge. I will have a look into that. I've smelled it before. I'm familiar with it, but
that
would make a good candle. Okay, what else? What else you got? What else do you think?
Let's see.
I'm just gonna show perfume candles. I can send you a list of my favorite perfumes. You can try them.
Send them over. Why not? Why not? We have one that's similar to Acqua di Gio.
Oh, which one's that?
It is really uniquely called Aqua.
Aqua, okay. I will try that one because my husband wears that. Like that's one of the few like colognes that he has in his like 3 cologne collection. Acqua di Gio is one of them, so I'll grab that for him.
It's one of my favorites. It's not exactly. It's a little bit different, but it's in the same realm.
Yeah, the same kind of vibe.
Yeah, in the same way that Midnight would be like Drakkar Noir. It's not exactly the same. They all change a little bit when you transfer them into candle format, but. And then, we've got Spellbound, very similar to Love Spell.
Mm-hmm.
Smell like $1 million.
That's coming to me.
Smell like $1 million. I remember that.
Yep, smell like $1 million back in the day.
Was Lighthouse a one too?
That was not based on anything that I'm familiar with, but it's a nice kind of oceanic cologne style. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to something that's out there just because there's so many fragrances on the market. You can't really keep track of them all, but I'm actually testing that one to come back for 2022.
Nice.
So we have a really beautiful painted lighthouse that we're going to do. It looks great. So
now what about the bougie line? That's is that sticking around or is that just kind of one of those one and done? And
I think it'll stick around a little bit. I really enjoyed working on that one, but it never really got its kind of day in the sun, I guess. That one in the Zen line and also Farmhouse. I think we launched those like right before COVID hit.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's the tulips candle. I love that. I wish that would come back.
Which one?
That would be that tulips.
Oh, tulips. Yep.
From the 3-wick. That just came back in the 2-wick. Be awesome. The wisteria from the Zen line. I love that one.
Yeah, you're big into the florals. I know that.
I am. And Melanie is a florist, and she can't really stand the florals.
Flowers.
Hey, isn't that funny how that works? You know, if you're in the industry, when you get home, it's just something you don't want to smell anymore.
Yeah, I never want flowers delivered to me. It just bothers me when I get flowers sent by people, because I'm just like, I know how much this cost, and you paid a ridiculous amount for what I'm getting here. Please don't do that.
I get it. I get it. You know, I worked at our restaurant for a long time, bartender in there, you know, at the farm table, and believe me, I understand when you work in an industry and you get home, you just want nothing to do with it. I mean, everybody tells me I smell great when I leave the factory because I smell like candle shop. And I'm just thinking like, I've got to
get it off.
You walk through the factory and you will reek for days. It's crazy. Everyone knows too. You walk into, I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts or a coffee shop or anywhere, and they're like, "Oh, you work at Yankee Candle or do you work at Kringle? Which one is it?" Because we're 15 minutes down the street. It's good marketing, you know. Everyone smells you.
Yeah. You know, I do like the florals, and like, you know, I'm starting to really, every year this time I want to get into like burn the spring florals, right? It's like I'm kind of over, because, you know, as reviewers, we're also ahead. We're not as ahead as you guys are, but we're also ahead because now companies like Yankee, they just started releasing their spring stuff to Kohl's, and, you know, that'll probably trickle into the stores probably by the end of December.
Soon. It's too soon. Everything is too soon. It's like Halloween in October, or no, excuse me, July, and then July in October, and geez, you even do Christmas in July. I mean, it's crazy how it's almost like everyone has to beat each other to the season. Like whoever launches first is the first to the game, and that becomes the new starting point. So it's like everybody just keeps getting earlier and earlier. But what can you do?
Do you feel like there's a weird competition to get stuff out?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I don't really like to play that game. I kind of like to just do our own thing. I don't really look a lot at what everybody else is doing for promotions and timing. We just set our own calendar and agenda that makes sense for us. But there absolutely is a pressure to do it because, you know, if somebody else launches their Halloween line first, it's like, oh man, we're not scheduled for 2 more weeks, and the customers are calling us and asking us. Really, the pressure comes from customer service because they're starting to get calls and emails. When is it coming out? When is it coming out? And they have to respond to everybody. Yeah. So it's just like a flood of customer service inquiries, and we just get absolutely crushed by it. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
It's retail, right?
Yeah.
Now with the internet and just web sales, I mean, we're open 24 hours a day, selling candles everywhere, all over the country. It's crazy. Yeah. Our website is just we've grown tremendously in the last year. We're up about 60% this year, direct to consumer on the web, which is great. But we're just having a hell of a time hiring people right now. I've probably got 15 positions open right now that we need filling, and we've been trying to fill them for months, and it's just really challenging to get people in the door. But we've got about 2,000 outstanding web orders that we still need to ship, and we're chipping away at it every day, but more keep coming in. It's a lot, but we're doing our best. So please, everybody hang tight. We're going to get the orders out, I promise.
Now, could you walk into the flagship store in Yankee and be unrecognized, or would they know you right away?
That's a great question. It's been a little while since I've walked in. But hold on. My girlfriend is watching a movie out there. I'm sure you can hear it in the background. Let me just close this door.
All right,
that's how you know it's live, everybody.
Live. You know, I periodically will go to the flagship store because, you know, I grew up here, and I don't have any, you know, negative feelings or vibes or anything with Yankee. I mean, it's my family's legacy, and I love, you know, driving by and seeing the place doing well. And I literally, when I was born, I mean, the first day that I was born, my parents brought me to the store, and they had blue balloons literally everywhere. It was like a big party, and I grew up
nice.
Running through the factory and going through the store and seeing Santa Claus every day. It was pretty was pretty awesome as a kid.
Fun.
It's a lot different today than it was back then, but I mean, everybody has those stories. It was so much different and better back in the day. I mean, I don't want to be that guy to say that, but I'd love to work with those guys in the future at some point. Who knows what the future holds for a collaboration, but you never know.
Are you ever sad or disappointed with how different Yankee has become?
Well, when I was 7 years old and my dad sold the company, I was pissed. I was mad. I was sad. I was angry. I was all of those things because I want to grow up and run Yankee someday. That was always my childhood, dream. What am I going to be when I grow up? I actually have a letter that I wrote in kindergarten that was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it says, I want to be a candle maker. So I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
Living the dream. But, I understand the changes that they've made. They've had to adapt and change for the market and go where the sales are and where the profit is. They're a publicly, Newell. So
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know if I don't think that's public, but
I think they are. I think they're on the stock market.
Okay, so they've been traded 7 or 8 times since my father sold it. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Lots of changes and new ownership and new agendas and things, and I think they're holding together pretty well for that many changes in leadership over the years. So
since we're talking holiday here, do you remember? I think it was your dad who put it there. The Bavarian Christmas Village.
Yep, of course.
Is there a story behind that?
Yeah. Well, most of the candle making equipment that we use and my father used back in the day came from Germany. It was a company called Hairhammer, and they're the premier candle machinery company in the world. And my father would go over to Germany periodically to check in on what the latest, greatest thing was. And there were all these Christmas villages, and he just loved them. And he wanted to bring a little part of that home. And one of his biggest, idols was Disney, Walt Disney, seeing Disney World and how that, just transformed over the years. That he took a lot of inspiration from that. So he kind of molded his experiences in Germany and what he saw at Disney and created the Bavarian Village. And that was one of his favorite projects that he ever got to work on there. It was fantastic. I loved it's snowing every day and the trees, and it really felt like you were outside indoors, and it was Christmas year round. And it was a pretty unique concept for the 90s, and it did very well. It did very well. It's a little different now, but it's still very cool to visit.
Let's see. I think Tiffany said I think she's saying you and Harry Slacken have her ultimate respect. I think you and Harry, you guys are like both figureheads of your companies, and you're out there and you're actually talking, to the customers, and you're being a presence.
I've got a lot of respect for Harry. He has a great business, and he created an industry leading company, and he's still doing it. And I've got a lot of respect for the man. We've had a few conversations over the years. I've been fortunate to meet him, and cheers, Harry. I hope you're watching.
That's really cool that you guys are not like weird with each other. Like, I like to see people like having conversations and being normal about stuff. Like everybody has different preferences, right? Like,
of course,
there's something for everybody.
And there is plenty of market share in the industry for all of us to exist happily. There's no negative feelings of competition, at least from our side. We embrace it, and we make candles for lots of different companies, and not just ourselves. We're a contract filler, so we make a lot of brands out there, but I can't tell you who. But we've got a lot of respect for everybody in the industry, and it's a small world. So you never know who you're going to work with in the future. You just gotta learn from everybody and do what's best for the industry. I mean, we make candles. I mean, we're not in this crazy underground world of competition. We make stuff that smells great in people's homes. That's what we do, but we try to do it to the best of our ability.
Oh, Shante here wants to know if you'll do a collab with Homeworks.
I would love to. So put in a good word.
All right, Harry and Homeworks team, if you're watching,
We'll work on it. We'll work
See what
on
we
it.
can do.
Harry and I can go on QVC someday together. You never know. He
There you
looks a
go.
lot better on QVC than I would. I think his suits would outshine me all day. So I don't know if I could live up to Harry on that.
This is for Tiffany, real quick, you guys. She is a huge Alfie fan. So Tiffany, here is your boy.
Oh, he's very cute.
Conan.
Is Norway around? I thought I saw Norway walking
Yeah.
around.
Hey, Norway, come here, buddy.
Yeah, let's see all the pets.
I don't know. Where is it? All right. Come here.
A Massachusetts versus New York candle set with Harry.
Oh.
That's like the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Like O to Boston and O to NYC.
Okay, I got Norway.
Oh my God.
Mine's a little bigger. Mine's a little bigger.
Fluffy baby.
He's a good boy.
He's
He's like, Dad, this is awkward. I don't like being on camera.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, Norway.
Is he a doodle?
He is. He is. He's a Labradoodle that I got on Wish because he sheds. Sheds like crazy, actually. But he's a first generation Labradoodle, so he's mom was a poodle, dad was a lab. So if we bred him with another poodle, then he would not shed. But you're gonna see my shirt's gonna be white after this.
That's okay. That's okay. He's so cute.
He's a good boy, though. He's a good boy.
So sweet.
You're gonna just stay here the whole time?
I think
He's like, well, now you got me up here. I'm not moving.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? No.
settle in.
Someone here, Sense of Love, said she loves the smell of wet dirt in the summer. I can't agree more. I love the smell of wet dirt and grass.
We add a little dirt to the tomato fragrances when we do those.
Someone was asking about a tomato vine fragrance. Same thing?
Yeah, it's funny how I've been hearing a lot about tomato vine lately, and every time we've been very close to launching one, it always gets chopped because there's not a ton of demand for it. It's not, it's not like launching a blueberry. Every year you got to launch a blueberry, and I think Brett is responsible for at least 50% of our blueberry muffin sales. But,
That's a good one.
It's funny.
It's so authentic. That is the most authentic blueberry note I've smelled.
Really nice.
Some blueberry, some blueberry scents smell so fake.
What was that?
You reviewed the blueberry muffin, I think, right?
Blueberry muffin and the blueberry muffin is the country candle, right?
Both. We have it in both. I think you put that one in Kringle, though.
I burned both.
Okay.
I burned both. I love them both.
You had the blueberry French toast in the country.
Blueberry French toast and then blueberry muffin, right? So those are two different scents, right?
They're different. Yeah.
They're both amazing. They're both delicious. I want to eat them. They're amazing.
So
I'll do this. Those are good.
We just got a Roomba for this room for the kitchen, and Norway hates it. It's really hysterical, I guess, to watch him bark at this thing like driving around. I haven't seen it yet.
No, geez.
Yeah.
Yes, Poo Poo Boy, Climbing Clematis. That is a tomato vine, a peppery scent. Yeah, from Homeworks. Yep. That was a good one the first 2 years. Fresh cut grass scents. Yep.
It's so funny that the people that are most vocal about certain fragrances, like for us, we had fresh cut grass. I had a tomato vine a long time ago in a limited run that we had at retail. They just didn't sell. But it's funny because I'm starting to think that things are coming back around, because back in the day when we first launched Halloween, Witch's Cauldron did not sell. None of our Halloween sold at all. I mean, we did one run of Halloween. I think we were still selling the first run for like 4 years just to try to get rid of the stock. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts messaging us, and it became a cult favorite, this Witch's Cauldron fragrance that we made, and ended up relaunching it. And Halloween has become one of our biggest seasons of the year, second to Christmas, but very close second. And I don't know, I think, Brett, you might be responsible for that.
Maybe.
Brett loves Halloween.
I love the Halloween. I love.
What do you think we should do for next year? I'm about to start developing the new fragrances for 2022 for Halloween. Suggestions?
I'd say bring back the Sleepy Hollow, right? 3 wicks.
This year we're going to do 3 wicks and Country Candle as well. We just simply didn't have the time this year to pull it off with COVID and everything, and then crazy demand. I mean, like I said before, we make candles for a lot of other companies as well, and we always put their needs first. We have to, because we also sell candles, but we have to put our customers first when they're ordering large quantities of custom products, because they have customers that they're relying on purchasing the product and are relying on them. So it was a challenge, and we had to cut a couple things from our Halloween launch this year. But next year we will have 3 wicks, and we will have Country Candle as well.
Yeah, I like the like a graveyard earthy dirt scent, right, with some smoke in it.
Okay.
Heavy on the dirt, and then some smoke in there. And there might be a few that I would cut out of the line.
All right, what would you cut? What would you cut?
This might make a lot of people mad, but maybe Day of the Dead.
That one's been on the iffy chopping block.
I would keep the original 4. Right, the candy corn, the wolfsbane, the fright night, and those obviously.
We're going to reformulate the candy corn this year. I think we got a few people saying that it wasn't as strong as they'd like, so we're going to try to boost that one. Vanillas are tough. Vanillas are tough for every candle company. It's like you either have to add a bunch of other fragrance notes like caramels and burnt sugars to it in order to get that kind of perceivable oomph. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try to reformulate. All right, so we'll keep the 4. But what else? What else you got?
What else am I cutting? Oh my gosh, refresh my memory. What
people are going to be mad at you when you say that, and then they get cut. They're going to be like, "You cut my favorite."
I know. I'm gonna get backlash next year.
Melanie missed out on Halloween with us this year. I think you had your first review a little after that, right?
Yeah. But honestly, I'm not a big Halloween person. I don't even decorate for Halloween.
Really? I would have guessed the opposite. I would have said you would have gone all out for Halloween. What is it about Halloween you don't like?
Well, so I'm originally from Germany, so I didn't grow up with Halloween. And so we moved to the US when I was 10, and our first year here, I was like, what is this? It's so weird.
We are a little weird here in the US.
It's a little different. But yeah, my daughter loves it. So like we do like a few things around the house, and like I'll go trick-or-treating with her, but she's like, I just have never gotten into Halloween. It's never been my thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking back here. Look at everything.
My family was absolutely crazy with Halloween. Like,
I bet.
Way too far. So my parents divorced when I was about 2. So I moved with my mom to Ohio, and I would come out here every other weekend to visit my dad. And I would get every other Halloween here with him. And he always wanted to know if I wanted to go trick-or-treating, but I didn't know a lot of kids here, only being here a couple days, every other week. So I always wanted to stay in for Halloween. And when I was little, we had a gate on the property, and there was like a camera down by the gate. So trick-or-treaters would come and like ring our bell, and I would be on the TV on the phone and saying, okay, do 10 jumping jacks and we'll let you in. Anyway, we started to give away the king size candy bars, the big ones. And then word got out every year after that, and it started to grow and grow. And we would get more trick-or-treaters. So the first few years, we only got, a dozen or so kids from around town. And our biggest year we ever had, we had 2,000 trick-or-treaters.
That's an expensive year.
Wow.
But we used to do these like haunted walks for the kids. So we would put on like crazy shows, and we had like a circus tent one year, and we had like crazy acts like trapeze artists doing stuff, and then we had someone walk around with the Labradors and just walk in a circle and go ta-da. It was just kind of like stupid, like it was like crazy cool, and then like really like
never done that. Like, nope.
it was crazy. And then every year we would have like a crazy clown scare attack that would happen. So we would do them in waves. So you get like 50 people to come in at a time, and you do the little show, and then they'd go reach for the candy, and the scary clowns would come out and scare everybody. It was great.
Oh, geez. So the other one I would cut, maybe this is also going to probably make a lot of people mad, poison apple. It's interesting. It's interesting. To me, it smells like when you take apples and you slice them up and you put them in a bag, and you smell them a few hours later. That's kind of what I get from that fragrance there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, people are going to be mad at that one because we
probably
falls out like second to which is Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow was our big one last year.
Yep.
That was I was anticipating that being a big one, but we're going to keep growing it. And we're going to keep doing the Halloween. I mean, these stories about my family with Halloween, I've just got to keep the tradition going. We don't do the trick-or-treater thing anymore, but someday we might. We're working on maybe doing like a haunted hayride at Kringle at some point. We have a big retail campus, Melanie. We've got a big store, and we have a restaurant and a wedding venue and a big farm, and we're kind of hoping to expand that in the future. So I'm now at the point where our factory has reached capacity, and we have to start talking about making a new factory, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time because it's a huge investment, and we have a plot of land right next to the retail store that I'm hoping to build on. And we're looking at building about 100,000 square foot factory to keep up with growth. But, you have to build it big enough so you've got at least, 10 years of time you can spend in that. Because we've been in our facility for about 8 years. And I never thought when we first moved in that we would ever grow out of it because it felt so big. It's 40,000 square feet. We've got our factory and our distribution center all in one with our offices. And it just seemed like so big when we moved in, and we are bursting at the seams right now. I literally you can't work in it. There's so much stuff because you need so many jars and so many pallets and pallets. I mean, truckloads of jars, and just, trying to maneuver around it all is paralyzing to everybody. So we're building an addition to the factory in the spring, about a 20,000 square foot addition just for warehousing. But in the coming year or two, we're talking about this big factory. And we're working on building a farm factory. So we want it to look like this beautiful rural farm building. So it'll be red with white trim, and we're going to use our wax tanks, make them look like feed silos. And we're going to build a new lab so that, we've got the candle lab in a different building. So it really looks like kind of like a New England farm. And we're going to have petting zoos and all sorts of agritourism things that customers can come and take a tour of the factory, play with the animals, do that kind of stuff. Maybe a sanctuary farm kind of a thing. And it'll be a really nice day trip. I've gone to a couple different places like Stonewall Kitchen and let's see, Ben and Jerry's farm in Vermont. Real factory tours that are engaging with people, and that's kind of what I want to build for the candle world, because you really can't go and see any candle factories anymore. There's nothing that you can really see behind the veil. And back in the day, my dad had a really great candle factory tour. And when they continued to grow, they moved their factory out of the Deerfield store, and that kind of went by the wayside. But I think it was an important thing to build customer awareness and show them, what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's just a cool thing. So we're working on that, and I'm hopeful that in the next 2 to 3 years we'll have it open, but we'll see.
That's awesome.
And real quick, what
appreciate that you are trying to incorporate this new thing without having it be like this big industrial concrete box that you're just putting on. And I'm sure you appreciate that you're trying to make it aesthetically pleasing to kind of tie in with everything else that you're doing.
Yeah, that was the hope. So we'll see. It seems like my internet connection might be freezing up a little bit. How is it sounding for you guys?
It's good.
Sounds good to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while you two were chatting a little bit ago, Harry sent me a message to give Mick his regards to you.
All right.
So he was watching.
All right. Well, hey, Harry, great to hear from you.
Hi, Harry.
Call him. Have your people call his people.
Good deal.
Ooh, I'm thinking Brett and Melanie collab with Kringle to create their signature scents.
I'm open to it. I'm open to it. My lab might kill me for saying that, but I'm open to it.
I'm not responsible if it doesn't sell more than 2 candles to myself.
What would it smell like? What are you gonna
It's just gonna be a flower in a jar.
It would probably be like Miracle Grow potting mix. It would be like
pottery mix?
Potting mix. Soil.
Well,
now
we lost
potting mix.
I'm not sure I would buy your candle.
I don't know. See, that's the thing, right? It wouldn't sell.
You never know. You never know. What would the design be? What would be your
for dirt? So you would sell a few. You would sell a few.
I would probably sell like 5.
What would it look like? What's the design? What do you want it to be?
Oh, so it's go with a 2-wick large jar. You go with a 2-wick soy wax there.
Okay.
And maybe use the black soy wax from Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or maybe like tinted a little. Yeah, go with black because brown wouldn't look too good. The Midnight Snow one, that doesn't look too bad in brown. But yeah, it would probably just be like probably the soil under the earth, and then the grass and flowers growing up on top of it. So we see like other roots, and we have to add a grassy note to it.
I bet some people would be totally into that.
It'll smell like what it smells like in the coffin, like when you die.
It could be a Halloween fragrance.
It could be. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Melanie,
I love those kind of scents.
All right, Melanie, what are you working on? What's going to be your scent?
Well, I kind of already told you, I want a beautiful orange pomander. Like I want a lot of fresh, juicy citrus, and I want clove, but I don't want the clove to be like overboard.
Mm-hmm.
That I want a pomander, and I don't want any cinnamon in it.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of nutmeg. I could see some nutmeg being okay, but I just like a very pure, like European, like orange pomander scent. That's what I want.
Okay. It's interesting that you say no cinnamon, because I always associate pomander with clove and cinnamon.
Yeah, nope, don't like it. Take the cinnamon out. Just do clove. Just do the orange, and then just a little bit of nutmeg. And I feel like that would be, I would love it.
Okay. All right. I am going to propose something. I'm going to say, let's make these happen. So, you're frozen. Let's make this happen, and let's give you the candle maker's experience. Let's have you make these 2 fragrances, have them come to life, and launch the product. So we'll work together. You can pick your label. You can work with the fragrance houses and myself, and we will develop the fragrances so you can tweak them. We can have like 1 or 2 revisions so that, if you like them, but you wish it had a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, we'll work on that. And then we'll have you do the wick selection, where you pick your jar and the formula that you want it to be. So if it's, Melanie, I'm assuming you're going to classic soy blend. We use a couple different wicks in there. So we'll send you one, and you burn it the way that you want it to burn, with the 2 or 3 different options for the wick styles and sizes. And you will have the Kringle candle experience of developing a candle. How's that sound?
This sounds awesome.
All right. So I'm gonna get the lab and
oh, we lost him.
Oh no!
Oh no. He'll come back, hopefully. Hopefully.
Is that you? Is that your computer?
That must be the thing. I don't know what that thing is for.
Dude, we get to make our own.
Oh, there he is. Let me let him back in there.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
It's like April. It's like April Fool's joke.
Hey, being like, Mick, stop promising things. No, let's do it. Why not? I mean, we've got some time, and Melanie, yours probably would launch for the fall, but why don't we do some follow-up videos where, we talk about it and we get together and you get your samples and you smell them and we go through the whole thing. What do you say?
Yes.
Game.
I'm in.
Game.
All right. So start thinking about how you would describe the fragrance. If there's any notes that you've seen in other fragrances on the industry that you're like, yep, I want this, I want that, top note, mid note, base note. We'll put it all together and we'll make this happen. And then we'll launch it and we'll have a little competition. Who sells more, Brett or Melanie?
It's gonna be Melanie. It's gonna be Melanie. But mine might sell good in a garden center.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And one of your wholesalers.
I think they'll both do well, but you'll get to pick the label and you'll find the graphics for it, and we'll work together on making it look pretty. And let's do it. Why not?
I love it. Thank you. That's so exciting.
Awesome.
I think it'll be fun. So we'll give you the whole experience. And Brett, you're not too far away. You might even have to come down and visit the lab. Melanie, where are you located? I'm
in Oregon, but you know what? I would fly out for that.
All right. Well, don't tempt me with a good time.
I could do the trip anyway. Haven't been anywhere in the longest time. So I'll connect with you. I will come and I will do the whole tour. I will do the whole thing because
why don't we do it at the same time? We can get both.
I'm only a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I will host. You guys can come stay with us here, and we'll give you the full candle experience. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So I'm going to work on this. I'm not, the viewers are going to hold us accountable. We have to get this done this year. Okay.
Yeah, you're like 93 people that are going to hold you accountable right now, plus whoever watches the replay.
I know. And Harry might have to get involved in this one too. You never know. I don't know.
Yes, someone suggested while you were gone that it would be a Boston versus a New York between you and him. Get a.
I think you should do a Boston and New York candle.
This might get dangerous. This might get very dangerous.
What do we get ourselves into?
I don't know. We might have to have we might have to start a reality TV show, Harry. I don't know. Candle Wars. Us and Yankees, get them all in here. I think we've got some viewers that would watch that. There was a Yankee magazine article a long time ago, and ever since I saw it, they had Kringle candle in a caricature cartoon drawing on one hill, and Yankee candle in a caricature drawing, and they were we were shooting missiles back in and the article was called Candle Wars.
Oh my God.
It was hysterical. But hey, it could be a great TV show. We could do a TV show around my father's book. I've got a manuscript I'll have to share with you at some point. We're working on getting it to the final edit, but Dad wrote a book before he passed, and it's really interesting. It starts when he was very young and meeting Santa Claus and going through the whole childhood drama of that and tragedy of it to having his company and bringing it all the way to the sale. But it really goes into why he made a lot of the choices he did with incorporating Christmas and wanting to bring Christmas to life for kids because it wasn't so great for him.
Yeah. That's a really neat legacy to have that.
Yeah, I hadn't read the book until maybe, a year after he passed. I just never read it, and I wasn't a part of the writing of it, and it was kind of a nice gift to sit down and read this.
Did you know it existed ahead of time?
I knew it existed, and he was working on it, but he was very close to the chest with it, and I just never really dug into it too much. He had read a couple chapters to me just to get my opinion on a few things, but it was nice to be able to have that after he was gone. It was almost like he was, talking to you from the great beyond.
Right. And I know last time we did this, you showed that the hand drawing of these. You had the framework.
Yep.
And this is Bayberry. So my folks who watch my channel know I love the Bayberry and everything it stands for. So this is probably one of those the hand colored.
Those were printed in black and white, and they had colored pencils, and they colored in the leaves and the bayberries and the stick.
That's so cool.
Yeah, every single one of those was hand colored.
And that's my other bayberry that I love, the old school.
I've got some really cool old videos and everything.
An old one.
I've got literally a room full of VHSs that are just old Yankee footage, factory footage, videos and commercials, and store openings and company breakfasts that they would do, talking about the metrics of the company with all the employees, and it's really fascinating to watch. I don't know. I'm working with somebody who's just trying to convince me to try to sell this to Netflix and say, like, hey,
you can sell it to Netflix.
Yeah, do like a 3-episode mini series kind of a thing about Dad, and how it started, how it finished, and how it ended, kind of a thing. There's a lot to the story. It's really fascinating. There's a lot of drama and craziness that happened over the years, but it would make for good TV.
That you should. I feel like there would be a lot of interest in that. I mean, the way that people are getting into candles these days, like, and most people probably started with Yankee back in the day. I mean, that's where I started. That was my first candle ever, was Yankee Candle cranberry chutney. That was my first candle that I ever bought for myself.
Cranberry chutney. What year would that have been then?
It was 1997 when I bought it, but I think it was probably out before then.
So that would have been the year Dad sold it, or he started to talk about selling it.
Yeah.
So it still had the black bands and still had that look. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
That was my very first one. And I've loved it ever since. Like, it's an incredible scent. It's so basic, but it's absolutely delicious. It's perfect the way that it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a good one.
I smell it now when I'm burning it. It's the only difference.
Well,
I think you gotta try the signature jar. Try the signature jar.
Yeah.
It might improve a little bit.
That's what Brett said. Brett said to try it. He said it was worth a try. So
yeah,
I've burned a few of the signature jars, and they're definitely, I would say, an improvement from some of the others. I mean, it's hard. I never want to talk badly about anybody, but I mean, I feel like candles and fragrance are kind of like the story of the big fish. As time goes on, the stories of how they used to be grow, and the fish keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And it's tough. I mean, technology has improved over the time, but the fragrance industry has self-regulated and eliminated so many things from being allowed in fragrances. I mean, they used to use a solvent system that was called J-Flex back in the day. That was a derivative of rocket fuel. I mean, it was wild, but it helped the candles burn, and it really got the fragrance out into the room. You can't use that stuff anymore.
So is this rocket fuel?
It was rocket fuel. And,
rocket fuel.
They were stronger back then, but
it's still strong.
Also,
it is strong.
Technology. I mean, fragrance candles back in the day didn't exist, so you didn't have competing smells in the home. You didn't have some other benchmark to say, well, this one was stronger. So even like a candle that you could walk into a room and barely smell it was like a novelty. It was like, whoa, that candle smells? That's bizarre, because most of them were just fragrant from a novelty standpoint, like a pillar candle or a taper candle, where, yeah, you could smell it when you put your nose up to it, but it was more for the point of purchase novelty of it that it smelled than actually being a tool for scenting your home. And then that's where Dad kind of cornered the market and made it more of a utilitarian fragrancing device. And he didn't invent the scented candle. He invented the ultra fragrant candle, is what he used to like to say. So I don't know. I think everybody's candles have gotten better over the last 20 years. And it's hard to say, how can you stay in the same format, the same jar, the same formula and everything, and be comparing a single wick candle to a 2 or a 3 wick candle? It's not apples to apples. So, that's why we did Country Candle with 2 wicks, because it's just stronger, it burns cleaner, and it's more performative. But the new signature jars, I've heard good things about. They've put a little more fragrance in them, and they've been strong. I burnt a few of them here, and they've been on par with jars of that size, I would say. I've had some diminishing flame heights, but that's about all I can say.
Yeah. Now I know people are here talking about Christmas wish. I know you had received a Christmas wish
I sure
jar
did.
a few weeks ago. Were you able to do anything with that yet, or is that still sitting
It
on the
is
sideline?
still in the works. That'll be for next year.
Okay.
That's gonna it takes time.
Yeah.
You know, we took a sample from the jar and we had it put in the gas spectrometer, so we got a reading off of it to see, you know, what exactly the makeup is, and we're sending that out to one of our perfumeries, and we're going to, you know, take a look at what components are in it and see what we can do. We're obviously going to have to change the formula a little bit for our wax blend and our type, but I think we can get pretty close. It's a real authentic balsam and cookie fragrance.
It's really unique.
Yeah, it smells like our original balsam fir from 2010, which was a 100% Siberian fir tree needle oil. Very authentic cold, but when they burned, they took on kind of like a dirty sock kind of a smell. Unfortunately, a lot of natural ingredients, when they burn, they take on kind of this awful kerosene, weird smell. So you have to kind of round them out with aroma chemicals and some different things. But we're gonna give it our best shot. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out.
Melanie's getting a refill.
Cheers. What are you drinking there, Melanie?
I am drinking the cheapest Trader Joe's wine I could find.
Let me see the label there. Let me see.
Traminer.
I'm a big wino, so that's cool. All right, that's nice. That looks good.
It's not that great.
One of my favorite whites is what is it? Cloudy Bay from New Zealand. It's a Sauvignon Blanc. That's one of my absolute favorites. Cloudy Bay.
Nice.
Very nice.
So speaking of wine, there was a question a while ago if you're going to continue doing the wine collection and maybe expand upon it.
Yeah, you know, I definitely want to remake it. I was looking at reformulating it in the soy blend or the soy wax instead of the soy blend. I think it'll maybe burn a little bit nicer. It's one of my favorite lines. Like I put a lot of effort into that that brand. It never really took off, but that was a little bit before we really had this boom on e-commerce. So I think we're going to keep it around, but I think it needed to be smaller. I think
they're huge. They're huge.
They're massive. I mean, the big 4-wick candle. Melanie, have you seen these? The vineyard one. It's got to be 3 to 4 times the size of a typical 3-wick candle.
It's about homeworks, maybe a little bit bigger.
It's got about 50% more fill, if not more than that. It's almost a 30-ounce candle.
These are 18. Yeah.
So it's a big candle, but it's beautiful. You know, we use these like really nice linen labels, and we got these like wax seals that resemble, you know, the wax on the tops of the wine bottles, and they're stamped with the vineyard. It's one of the most expensive candles I've ever made. It cost us a lot of money to make it, which is why it had a retail price that reflected that. But we make the least amount of money on that line, but it's the most expensive one.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you can only charge so much. And sometimes you just, as a candle maker, you just want to do something cool and like bring out all the stops and try something just from a creative standpoint. And sometimes we do that. But
I still have one of the 64-ounce candles in balsam fir.
Big ones. Yeah.
Those big guys.
I like those. Those were fun.
I'll never burn it. It's a statement piece to me. You know, I put out like, oh, I've never seen a candle that big.
Yep.
You know,
what do you think? Should we bring those back? Should we make some more of those?
I like big candles as long as they burn well the whole way down. That's kind of my problem with bigger candles that I've purchased in the past, is that like usually at the halfway point, they kind of start to peter out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I maybe overspent at that point when I get to that.
It is really challenging to get big candles to burn. It's so easy to make a short multi-wick candle burn. The shorter, the wider, the better. I mean, they put themselves out quick, they burn easy. What happens with the big candles, especially the big tall candles, the wicks are essentially like a filter, and you're filtering everything that's in that candle wax through that wick, right? Inevitably, that wick, that filter gets clogged, and what it does is it rejects a certain amount of material as it's burning. So there's some molecules that might be just a little bit too big to get through the filter, and it rejects it back into the wax pool. Sometimes if you look really close at the wax right underneath the flame, if there's maybe like a little bit of, I don't know, carbon ball or soot or a little something that's in the wax pool, zoom in really close underneath the flame, and you'll see it draw in and then get rejected out. And then draw in and get rejected. Like, take a look. Sometime, I don't know, crush up a carbon ball or something, get a little tiny particulate in there, and watch how the capillary attraction works up through the wick, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And what happens is you get a concentrating effect in the wax pool. So as it burns down, it burns down, it burns down. There are certain ingredients that didn't get pulled up through the wick that concentrate in that wax pool and keep getting denser and denser and denser, and that's what ends up clogging the wicks at a certain point. So you can pour out the wax pool and, start fresh, but I know a lot of people hate doing that, and it's not, the most efficient use of the candle, but it's a struggle that a lot of candle makers have, is getting that to work. And we've really landed on a beautiful wax blend for the Kringle line that just does not do that on any level. There's no diminishing at all. And it's like a miracle blend. I've worked for about 6 years on this, trying all different waxes from all over the place, from soy blends to paraffin blends only, to mixtures of soy and paraffin and coconut and apricot wax and all sorts of different stuff. Just for soy wax, there are like 6 or 7 different suppliers in the US that make about 10 different products each. So there's like 60 different versions of soy wax that you could potentially get from all over the world. So think about that when you have to try each one of those, and then try that with a combination of different, additives to make it, the way that you want it. There's a lot of possibilities. Millions of variations that you could go through, and it's taken me 5 years to land on this one. But I think we could do a big candle in this wax. I really do. I think we could probably get it. I haven't tried it yet, but I think we could probably get something big to burn top to bottom in this stuff. It's
curious to see if you can do it.
This one's burning all right. I gotta cover up the lab label. But yeah, this one's nice. I think Melanie, you're gonna like this one next year. I'll send you one to try. How about that?
I'm curious to smell that one. I love that particular type of scent, but I've never been able to get it to perform from who.
In terms of strength, or in terms of how it burns?
Burns. And strength too, because like if you have only like this big of a wax pool, like you're not getting much strength and throw out of that, right? So like the further you get down into like this kind of expensive candle, the less you can smell it. And I don't know, I just always put them in the candle crock, which I hate to do that. If I spend money on a candle, like I don't want to have to put it in a candle crock. I want to be able to burn it the whole way down. Like that's really what I'm looking for.
Of course. It's kind of like
vessel
a last
to me.
resort. It's a last resort to go to the candle crock, right?
For sure.
The vessel that they use is interesting.
I think it's pretty. I like the jar itself. It's kind of like
how good is it? If Melanie's having, I've never burned one just because it doesn't appeal to me.
I have used similar shapes in testing. I would make it a 2-wick. That's the only thing I would do differently.
Okay.
It would burn great as a 2-wick. It shouldn't be a single wick. It's way too big to be a single wick, in my personal professional opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a candle maker.
You might know.
So we have like juniper and laurel.
I still learn stuff every day. I don't claim to know it all. I just, I know enough to know I don't know it all.
Yeah.
I need a tan. I'm looking at myself in this picture, and I look like I need a tan. This is the factory look. It's from being inside in the factory.
Well, and it's December. It's December, and you live in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, that's true.
This is just your look.
No, it's not helping. It's not helping.
It is
What were you saying, Brett?
No, everybody's talking about Juniper and Laurel in the chat. I don't know what's going on, but I've seen like 2 or 3 comments about Juniper and Laurel in here.
So
It's
good.
a good one.
So
Yeah.
good.
It's a good one. I really liked that one when we were developing it, but I never would have guessed that would have like jumped to the fan favorite. My favorite is still Christmas. I love Christmas.
Oh yeah.
This is hard when you've got like a camera and you're trying to fix your hair. It's like all in reverse. It's not a mirror. It's like backwards. So I keep like trying to like fix it, and it's backwards.
You gotta put on a hat like Brett.
Before I come on, I need like a makeup artist to make me not look so weird.
So here's an interesting question for both of you. So it doesn't have to be Kringle, it could be anything. When you think of holiday, what smell do you think of? Like what, if you were to smell a scent, what would you think of? Like a childhood nostalgia scent or something like that?
Cinnamon for me. For me, it's cinnamon. Like
Baking,
our old welcome home or our current kitchen spice is like my absolute favorite holiday.
So more red hot cinnamon compared to a sweeter baking cinnamon.
You like red hot cinnamon.
I do. I'm a big cinnamon person. I love cinnamon.
That's so disappointing to me.
I know. I think it's because my dad had a lot of the old Home Sweet Home around when I was young, and I have a memory of walking through the factory with him. I think when they were making Home Sweet Home, and I was very young, but I think it's one of my first memories of being with him going through the candle factory. And I remember like looking at the candles on the belt and watching them model, which is the paraffin wax when it starts to make that crystalline look as it cools. And sometimes when the jars get really close together, the heat from the neighbor prevents it from modeling in certain areas in the middle. And there were a few that had like made really cool patterns in the middle, a couple like hearts with the modeling pattern as it like came together in the middle. And I just thought it was super cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, I really loved that. And then blueberry were the two like childhood fragrances that I remember from being with him. So those are my two. But Melanie, what do you got?
For me, it's either a straight up like classic balsam or it's that orange pomander for me. That's really, so I remember making orange pomanders with my Oma when I was living in Germany. Like she would have us over and we would just stick cloves and oranges, and that would be a part of her decor. And like I loved stuff like that. So I would always be the first one there, like I'm here to do the thing, you know, and like I love that memory, and I love that smell. That to me is Christmas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. It is amazing how important fragrance is to memory. It's like it just brings you right back.
Yeah, it does.
Something, and you just, it's the longest tie to memory. I mean, what was it? Old Spice that did that commercial. They weren't wrong. I mean, it really is the longest tie to memory. You smell something, you're like, that was my 5th grade girlfriend, or
You also bring up bad memories.
Memory or whatever. It's just, it brings you back.
Yeah, for sure. Brett, what's yours?
Mine is holiday bayberry.
Oh.
Old school bayberry. And that's because of my grandmother. And every year, and that's why I'm so obsessed with bayberry is, we'd always get the bayberry candle, the tapers, burn them to the socket, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, right? Because that's the saying, bayberry candle burned to the socket brings good luck and fortune to the pocket. But there were so many years that we couldn't find bayberry tapers. So we would always end up getting the holiday bayberry whenever we could find it.
Cool.
And it's just you burn it. It just has that Christmas smell. It reminds me of her. So holiday bayberry and bayberry in general is my go-to.
That was a great fragrance. I have one of those black bands as well, and it's kind of a more spicy bayberry than just like a straight piney kind of bayberry, and it was really, really pleasant.
Yeah, this is what year is this? 2005, and still strong.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you know how they make like old traditional bayberry candles with the berries? They used to like collect these little wax berries and boil them, and then this little wax residue that was around the edge of the berry would rise to the surface of the water
Mhm.
and then skim that off and make candles out of it. They're by far the most expensive candles you can find because of how many berries it would take and how much time it would take to pick them and boil them and process them and turn it into a candle. But they are really unbelievable. A nice, fragrant, natural wax.
Yes, I was at the Yankee flagship a few years ago in the candle making museum in the back. They hand dip their own tapers,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy back there was showing us how they do it, and he hand picked all the berries that he was making there.
It's hard to find those bushes anymore, and it's even harder to find anyone who knows anything about it these days. Just doing searches for bayberry photos, even nobody even has imagery of those berries anymore for like labels. It's just not a thing. If you search bayberry now, you get these big red berries, not the old waxy bayberry New England style berries. So it's becoming more and more of a scarce art, and just even the information is scarce these days.
It's definitely old time Christmas, right? It might have got lost in a generation.
For sure.
That's kind of a bummer. Like I hate to see a lot of these like older things going by the wayside. It really bums me out.
Yeah. No, I agree. We got to bring back some of the old traditions.
Yeah. I love super traditional, like old school Christmas. Like I don't listen to like any of like the newer Christmas music. I just refuse.
Yeah, I like the old stuff. What's your go-to favorite Christmas song? What do you got?
I honestly anything either Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra from Christmas, like they can do no wrong. Like that's all I listen to on Pandora for November and December. Is just I have my Dean Martin holiday Christmas station, and that's what I listen to. And it's just like Pearl Ives and Dean Martin and Perry Como, like all of those. I love that stuff.
That's right. Frank's the best. He's the best.
Classic.
For sure. How about you, Brett? What do you got?
Ooh, Christmas songs, old school. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Springsteen fan, so obviously I love the two Springsteen songs he's done, Merry Christmas Baby and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I actually went to see him, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Uckensville, up by you, Nick, in Connecticut.
Oh,
at the casino.
Sorry, it's breaking up a little bit. Hopkinton?
No, Uckensville, Connecticut. The casino.
Yep.
Casino up there. Saw him there a few years ago in May, and it was just a crazy show. And someone had requested Santa Claus is Coming to Town, so in the middle of May he's performing that. So
that's cool.
Just yeah. So I gotta go to the Springsteen stuff.
Very cool. You've got quite the vinyl collection behind you.
Yeah, this whole section here is all Bruce. Right there, and that's books and stuff.
Last Christmas, my girlfriend got me a record player, so we looped it in. So I'm getting into vinyl. So we'll see. We'll see. Sounds better. It sounds better.
It does sound better. Mohegan Sun, Carrie. Mohegan Sun. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, Carrie said it was Mohegan Sun. Yep, that's it.
That's a fun place to go, for sure. They've got great concerts.
So yeah, small venue, nice intimate venue.
For us in Western Mass, that's a huge venue. Yeah. We're in the middle of nowhere out here. Burniston, where the factory is, I think has a town population of 3,500 people. It's pretty small.
Yeah, I'm used to the bigger stadiums, MetLife Stadium, Lincoln Financial Field.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We had the Vet that held 70,000.
Oh, I can't see any of the comments here. Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
I just figured it out. We got comments. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of them, actually. All right. Are we taking any fan questions over here? Springsteen rocks.
Rocks. There you go. Yep. Yeah, I actually met him when he did his book signing a few years back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he did the book signing over in Freehold, where he was born at a Barnes & Noble. And, we got to take our picture with him, got to meet him and do all that. But I think what was really cool was my son, he wasn't even a year old yet. And I have a picture of Bruce holding my son, which is, probably like the coolest thing that I have. And when so he was born in February, and I actually went to a Bruce concert by myself a week after he was born. My wife will kill me. She had to have a friend come over and help her. But I got him a onesie at the concert, a Springsteen onesie, and he was able to wear it for that. So that was really cool.
He seems like such a nice guy, like a genuinely nice human being.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
Yep.
I like hearing that because, like, you hear about celebrities just being total buttheads all the time, but like John Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, I don't think I've ever heard like a bad thing said about either one of those men, ever.
I don't think I have either. Yeah, it's a good point. It's in this day and age,
it's a lot.
It's tough.
Yeah,
that's an accomplishment.
But they do it. Like they're amazing humans. I love them. They're both great.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. I saw one question here that was, do I buy other brands like Homeworks and Cinnamon French Toast? Yeah, I buy other candles for sure. You gotta know what everybody else is doing if you're gonna stay on top of your game. So you gotta know what the competition is. You gotta know what the strength is. I mean, I don't buy every candle from everyone, but we have a corporate budget every year that we test candles. Jeez, this backwards thing is killing me. This hair, it's awful. I'm having a bad hair day, Melanie. I gotta watch some of your beauty videos and get some tips.
Hair tutorial.
I need one. But yeah, no, I was, you guys have inspired me. I was actually thinking about doing kind of like a candle review thing as well, just kind of reviewing my thoughts on other brands as well, just to kind of see where it goes. Maybe we can all bounce ideas off of each other someday. I don't know if I get in trouble for that.
And I know, when Melanie had done a live with Harry a few weeks back on Instagram. I watched it. Yeah. And, and one of the questions he asked Melanie was if we all kind of talk behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And we do. And there's a bunch of us that and I talk to Melanie almost every day. And a few others. We always, hey, what's going on with this? Or, is yours burning like okay? And so on and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely a huge camaraderie.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to get the feedback from a lot of different people. Like, I love that there are so many reviewers now on YouTube and on Instagram. I think it's important to get a variety because everybody's nose is different. Just because I smell one thing doesn't mean Brett's going to smell it,
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Occasionally you'll find a fragrance that's, super strong in my opinion, and then you'll get a review on it. It's like, I can't smell the thing yet.
Yeah.
What else do I do?
Yeah.
The thing is super strong to me.
Yeah.
But everybody smells differently. Everybody does. That is
and
not
everybody's good.
It's not just a marketing trick, for candle companies to say, well, everybody's nose is different. It's so true. I mean, I've had fragrances that are so strong that I can't even bear to burn them. And I've had people say I can't even smell it. Mm-hmm. What do I do differently? You can't please everybody with every fragrance. Unfortunately, I wish we could. I wish we could make one fragrance that everyone just loved and was their absolute favorite. And it was the strongest, best burning, everything. But you can't. You got to make tons of fragrances for tons of different people, and everyone finds their favorite. And even the worst selling fragrance in the lineup has people that it's their absolute favorite fragrance, and you kill somebody every time you discontinue something. But that's why we bring back the old stuff. Next year, you're going to find a lot of old stuff coming back next year from the original line. So it'll be.
Yeah, I was bummed when you stopped the Plumeria and the Lemon Rind.
Again, not the best sellers, but the Lemon Rind was actually a good one. But we replaced that one with was
it the Rosemary Lemon?
Rosemary Lemon, yeah. That one just outperformed it. Yeah.
Does it ever hurt your feelings, when you watch people's reviews? Do you find that it affects you, mentally to watch too many? How does that work for you?
Hold on, Melanie. My internet connection's killing me. Can you say that one more time for me?
how does it affect you, like mentally or emotionally, to watch people's reviews? Because obviously there's lots of different ways to review a candle or review a product. Some people are a little more aggressive about it, and some people are a little bit more diplomatic and constructive about it. Like, how do you deal with like that part of it? That's so interesting. Like, I have a degree in social work, so I always like wonder about how people think and like how things affect them. So I'm curious about how that affects you.
I've definitely cried myself to sleep with a few of your reviews. I just go to bed. It's okay. Like anything, you work hard at something, and you want it to be the best that it can be. But there's a love-hate relationship with reviewers, because I love them because they give me really honest, critical feedback that in the end makes us better. Because if you never got critical feedback, you wouldn't go back to the drawing board and try harder and discover something new and make a breakthrough in the lab and like really do something that miraculously changes your company's trajectory. You need critical feedback. I mean, I don't make a single candle today that we launched with when I first opened my business. Not a single one. Nothing is the same as when I first opened, because we got feedback, we changed things. We originally made all single wick candles. I mean, all of our candles, our large candle was a 16-ounce single wick, about the same height as our large one, but it was about 1.5 inches narrower in diameter. And we got bad reviews. They just didn't burn as strongly as they needed to. So you adapt and you change and you reformulate, and you're better for it. Every candle company out there, I think, is constantly trying to innovate and make their stuff better than before. And if they're not constantly trying to make it better for next year than it was this year, then they're doing something wrong. I mean, it's constant innovation. But yeah, I mean, watching the reviews, I mean, I have to say, I like really loved watching your reviews on our new soy wax, because I'm just sitting there watching it. Like, yes, she appreciates the same stuff that I do. Yes. Like, I was really happy about it, because this is something that I've worked on for a long time. And there was a period of time where I lost a lot of love for our classic Kringle line. There was a hate relationship that I had with like the classic line. When we made it in paraffin wax, we just didn't have the clean burning, highly fragrant blend. I mean, the white wax and paraffin was very difficult to use certain fragrance ingredients. You could not use a lot of spices. You couldn't use a lot of gourmand vanilla notes, because it just turned the wax this really bright yellow or brown color. Because the paraffin, the modeling paraffin that we were using is like translucent. So you look through the entire candle.
Yep.
And the only like parallel that I could show or explain would be if you look through a pane of glass the normal way that you would look through it, it looks clear. But if you turn it on its side and you look through the entire length of the glass, it looks green, right? So you see all that glass. That glass is actually green in color, or it has a little bit of tint to it, but you don't see it when you look through a thin layer of it. Well, with the candle, in the fragrance oil that goes into that paraffin wax, you were looking through the entire thing, because the light was transmitting through the entire thing. It's not clear, but you see all that color, and it's very difficult to make a white candle. So that was a struggle. So we were handcuffed in the fragrance materials we could use. So I always hated that. I wanted to take off our handcuffs and try something new. And the soy wax is opaque. So even though the soy is actually yellower, it's actually not yellow, it's actually red, believe it or not. If you look at the MSDS sheets and the technical specs, soy wax has red in it, but it comes across as yellow to the eye. Our most colorful fragrance, dark, natural ingredients with natural cinnamon oil and nutmeg and clove that would typically color, paraffin wax. You'd look at it and you say, there's something wrong with that. It's discolored. And this candle still looks white. because it's opaque. You're really only looking at the surface of it. So this has been a huge breakthrough for us, and we're just really excited about it. And I've rekindled my love for the classic line. It is now my new favorite baby of our bunch. But yeah, the reviews can be tough, and they have been in the past. And but you just got to move on from it and make things better, because I don't think anyone's really maliciously reviewing. I think they're giving their honest feedback, their honest experience, and that's important for us. I listen and I look at all the groups, the Candle Dancer group, where a lot of people give really critical feedback. It's important to hear. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt as well.
Yeah.
So,
are there times like that you won't like? Are there times that you won't watch anything like before bed because you just want to like not get yourself riled up at night? Like you just watch like during the day.
That's when I do watch it. I'm like, I'm going to sleep and I've got Melanie reviewing my candle in my ear. It burns so clean.
Watching.
It burns so clean. Oh, this is strong. It's a 7 out of 10. Oh, I can sleep.
Yeah.
Now go watch my country candle Halloween review from 2 years ago, and it'll be the exact opposite.
Exactly, right? Yeah, you never know. But we always try to use those and make them better. I like it when people are a little bit more diplomatic about it, and not, I'll never buy their stuff again because they're assholes and they did this to me intentionally. It's like, no, we're not doing it intentionally to you. We want to make our best product, and some people don't like things, some people love things. We always try to make it right. That's what you do in business. If someone has a bad experience, come to us, tell us. Don't call us jerks on the internet, and we'll make it right. You know what I mean?
So here we go. Can we talk about route? Because I know a lot of folks have, if you want to talk about route, a lot of folks were kind of caught off guard by it.
Yep.
It just kind of popped up out of nowhere.
Sure. So we are trying desperately in this crazy world that we're living in post-COVID, during COVID, whatever you want to call it. It's still COVID. We simply can't hire enough people right now to do the job that we need to do. And that's in all areas of the business, from production to the lab to the office to customer service, shipping. We're in a labor crisis right now. So we're really trying to meet the need and deliver for everybody that we possibly can. And Route is a third party that is really helping us with damages, returns, and also like an insurance, because UPS has been treating our packages like a football game and just chucking them all around. We do our best to pack these things, but they just go crazy. So we added that in as an extra precaution that just makes it faster and easier to try to get a refund and get an extra product out there. That's our attempt. We're still learning about growing e-commerce, because when we first started, e-commerce was a much smaller percentage of our overall business, and now we're really focusing on it and trying to grow it. And we're, in the last 2 years, we're up like 250%, like almost triple in the last 2 years. And that has huge repercussions for the company in terms of, how many people we need physically going to the pick face and grabbing candles, packaging them, training them on how to pack them correctly, because candles are probably the most fragile product that anyone has ever shipped in the history of web. You've got something incredibly heavy surrounded in an incredibly fragile shell. It's like the worst combination you could possibly imagine. So we're just trying to do our best to make sure that everybody gets the product that they need, and that that we do our best. So what we're actually talking about is just incorporating Route into the standard shipping policy. So I think in the future, every order is going to have Route on it. It's just going to be lumped into the standard flat rate shipping. But it's kind of a new thing, and we're trying stuff, and you'll see over the course of the year and years to come. We're a Shopify platform, so we're going to be trying new things and bringing in applications and third parties to help us and try it. But sometimes it's trial and error, and some products will work better than others. We're just like everyone else, just trying to figure out how to make it the best for our customers. And sometimes we'll win and sometimes we won't.
I like that you guys added that option. Like I leave it in there. I'm like, if this is going to make it easier for me to get a replacement if something arrives damaged, like I'll pay the $1.50. Like it's just peace of mind. And I think most of us are usually purchasing like multiple candles. I mean, let's face it, most of us are trying to like get to that free shipping, and to just add that little, it's just going to make your life easier in the long run. Just do it. It's so easy.
Yeah. And, one of the things is like UPS and all of the shipping companies, they have their own kind of version of, insurance for the orders, but they make it so difficult to go after that you, as a company, you'll spend more going after UPS than the cost. So you'll actually lose money going after them, when they treat your packages like a football game. So the route has been really great, and they've been really easy to work with, and it's like instant. They fix anything that's a problem, and they help us internally because we have a small team. I mean, we've only got 3 people that work on the web currently. I mean, it's a very small group of individuals that handle all the inbound customer service questions, emails, and they're very intimate with the product. But it's also hard to like get someone new up to speed with all the kind of crazy questions and things that we get, especially having a remote office now that the customer service team isn't on location right now. They're kind of staying home because everybody's got their own quirks about COVID. Some people want to be in the office, some people don't. We have the office available to people that want to be there. But if you can work from home and you would prefer it, that's what we're trying to do. So it's a struggle to scale and ramp up to the kind of growth that we've had over the last year. So we're trying to bring in partners that help.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I like it. I'd vote to keep it. Makes my life easier.
Yeah, I downloaded the app on my phone too, and it tells you when the package is coming and whatnot, and it's just like, oh
yeah,
my God,
it has like some functionality for seeing when the package will get to you, so it helps in some ways. But I think we're just going to lump it in so that everybody has it at some point. We're just trying to work through the development of that and get through the holiday season before we change too many things on everybody.
Yeah. Lots of comments about how your packaging is some of the best, and you use so much packaging. It's so nice. Like not everything is perfectly like it's perfect. Like I have my box down here. Not one thing was the outside of my box looks like it went through hell, but the inside, nothing damaged. Not a thing.
Yeah. Have you seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, where he's the UPS guy and he's like kicking the box? I feel like that's what happens to our.
That's how my boxes arrive out in Oregon. I always joke that like it takes like everything that's on a donkey out here because it takes forever. And usually when I get something, like I have seen, especially my FedEx drivers, they just like toss it up our driveway, and I'm like, so.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, I wish that our candles weighed half as much as they do, because candles are not cheap to ship. I mean, when you're charging, say $7 for shipping, it's really costing us probably $20 to ship it. Maybe more if you're in a rural area that's, kind of out there. They just tack on all these kinds of fees. So we're trying our best to do it, but it's a struggle. So we're just trying to make it work for everybody.
Yeah, someone's saying here, Cordelia is saying that the biodegradable peanuts are so cool to watch melt away with water. Yeah. I was actually telling one. Go ahead.
I love those things. Those things are great. They're difficult to get in sometimes. They're hard to find, but they are very satisfying to wash down the sink. We want it to be green, and I want to develop like a machine that can like make those on site. I think that it would just save a ton of time and money trying to order them in, but they're fascinating to watch. Have you washed them down, Melanie? Have you seen that?
Yeah. I prefer those. Like I hate styrofoam packaging. That is like, here in Oregon, we're super crunchy granola, and like when I get a styrofoam packaging anything, I'm just so irritated because I'm like, ugh. It's going to take me like forever to figure out a place to recycle this stuff because you have to recycle everything. And it's a huge hassle. I prefer either cardboard or those biodegradable peanuts. Those are my two favorite things.
Yep. Yeah, I like the peanuts. They're easy, and we've got these things coming down from the ceiling that you just kind of
open
it
into the box.
I think if I didn't have little kids, I'd be okay with the peanuts. I open a package and they're all like flying all over the place, and so
yeah,
I'd be like, how about you just don't put peanuts in my? I'll pay for the route. Just throw it in the box, and give me the bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is fine. They love that. But I got my order the other day, and there was like maybe 4 stacks of the crates.
Yes.
In there.
Yeah,
they take the time to cut them out and everything.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Next year you're going to see a little change in how we do promotions on the web too, really just to help the web team, because when they get hit with a sale and the orders come in, they get the craziest orders that you've ever seen. I mean, just a mishmash of like all different sizes and everything. So we're going to kind of tailor the promotions next year to help the team pick and pack the orders, because you'll see the customers. If you order a mixture of large jars and medium jars and daylights and then 3 wicks and all this stuff, the problem is the differences in height. So you've got those like pulp trays that we use, and then they have to figure out, how do I make them squash down and on top of the other candles to prevent them from shaking around and rattling, and they cut holes in the pulp, and they do all this custom packaging. You might find that one web order takes them 30 minutes to package, because they're cutting all this custom stuff. Because boy, if that package makes it to you broken, I mean, like that's a bad thing for everybody. You're unhappy, we're unhappy. It costs us a ton of money to send you twice the amount with the shipping and the packaging time and the labor to pick it and pack it. I mean, we're losing so much money on that order if we have to grab a second one and ship it out. So from a business standpoint, we want them to be good, but they may take 30 minutes to pack an order. So to fix that, we're going to try next year to tailor our promotions around single sizes. So you'll see a large jar promotion where it's, large Kringles and large country jars, and, promoted in 6s. So it fits perfectly in the box and things like that. And then 3 wicks and mediums. And there will be some differences, but the web team hates it when we do 40 or 50% off everything, because the orders that we get are just like wild.
Least favorite sale for your team.
Yeah. They hate us. I mean, they look at me, they're like,
Could you
your fault. This is your fault. I'm like, I didn't do it. It was Grace. It was Grace on the web. I promise.
You gotta say your promotions in the past year and a half or so, they've been really good. But before that, we didn't really see your stuff go on sale.
Yeah, we made a conscious decision to really focus on the website and direct to consumer, because we had retail and we had tons of wholesale accounts, mom and pop, small shops, and when you sell wholesale, you're essentially selling at 50% of retail to a store so that they can mark it up double and then make a profit on selling the candles. So they've got a 50% margin. If you did a BOGO on the website, they're like, well, how am I going to compete with that? That's literally buying the candle at my cost. That's hard to do. So small retail and competing with the website, that was a challenge. So we kind of pulled out of doing the small retail wholesale in some cases, and really put a focus on the direct-to-consumer web. And then we offer custom lines to the wholesale market. So we're making, white label custom products for other retail stores. So it's not quite as indirect competition with our website. But everyone needs to be able to promote, because that's when candle buyers buy candles, is when there are sales and there are promotions. And that's just the industry standard now. If sales weren't a thing, you would see everybody's candles retailing for, 60% of what they are currently. That would just be the standard. But the consumers have trained the businesses, and the businesses have trained the consumers to only shop when it's a sale. And so now everybody prices their candles at a higher price so that they can promote them and that they can still make a margin even at the promotion.
But not everybody gives away a free candle as often as you guys do.
We try our best. next year we've got some other cool things. We've got room sprays and air fresheners, car fresheners that we're going to be adding to the line, which is going to be exciting. So I bought some machines and I've been working on them for the last year to get them all dialed in and perfect. Next year we're going to have some new products, so that'll be fun. I'm working on a way of delivering fragrance samples far less expensively than buying a daylight or a wax melt. So we're working on scent cards so that you can have tester strips of all the fragrances, which will be really exciting. I'm pretty pumped.
That's so smart. I think most people won't buy a candle because they don't know what it smells like.
It's hard, in the day of the internet, until they can figure out how to transmit fragrance through the internet, seems impossible at the moment. Olfactory products are going to have an uphill battle on the internet, and but I'm really hopeful that this new line of test strips that we're going to be working on will solve that problem. So my hope is that we will charge for the testers. So let's say they're 25 cents a piece, right? And you wanted to buy 10 of them, so it's $2.50. We would then give you a coupon with the test strips if you made a purchase that they're free and you get a little bit more off. So let's say you spend $5 on testers, we'd probably send you a $10 coupon with it, something like that, so that they wind up being free if you make a purchase.
That's super smart.
So that's the goal, but we'll see.
I like that. I think that keeps a lot of people from buying. Like, there are some people that just refuse to purchase anything because they don't know exactly what it smells like. And sometimes it can be hard to explain to someone like what something smells like, because they may have never smelled a bayberry. They have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's why a lot of people rely on the two of you to tell them what you think and your honest opinion of how it smells. I mean, Brett, I've heard you go into 20-minute dissertations on what it reminds you of. And, it's something that's helpful for people to hear that genuine first impression of what it brings you to and what it smells like, and talk about the notes, but talk about what you smell most, because in some cases, you'll read the notes and you'll say, well, I don't really smell a lot of that in the notes. Mm-hmm. So that's a genuine reaction to the fragrance. It doesn't mean that it's not in there. It is in there, but it's just how you're perceiving it. And I think people grow to trust you guys, and they listen to what you're saying, and it helps them make a more educated decision.
And I think that's also kind of where Bath and Body Works became so popular with candles, because there's one in almost every mall, right? Mm-hmm. You can smell them, and you can go anywhere really and smell a Bath and Body Works candle. Even Yankee, they're in Walmart, they're in Bed Bath and Beyond, they're all over the place now too. So companies like yourself and Homeworks. Now Homeworks is getting into like Ulta and like Home Goods and whatnot. So more access to those. But it's hard for most folks because they don't know, like they could be allergic, right? Here I have a candle from Homeworks from a few years ago, the lily scent. Well, some people are really allergic to lilies. Yeah. And even just having the smell would, even though it's not a true lily, it's just that smell would drive them crazy.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen people that have had reactions to fragrances. We have someone who works in our factory that just can't be around our lilac fragrance, for instance, because it has a natural lilac oil in it, and they're just they get like kind of skin irritant from some of the lilacs. They can't touch the flowers themselves. They have a real issue with the flower itself. So we bring them somewhere else when we're running lilac. Yeah. It's crazy.
Time for the day.
Yeah,
exactly.
Some folks on here are asking about accessories. Any kind of accessories in the future? I know before you had the daylight. That special daylight vessel.
Yeah, we're thinking about accessories. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a smart plug-in in the next year or so, that kind of a thing, which might be
Pura. Working with Pura.
I would love to work with them, but they're not taking any additional fragrance partnerships at the moment. So I was just in contact with them not too long ago. I bought one of them, and they're pretty good. They're decent. I think they have good fragrance performance, and it's a nice product, and I think it was a great idea partnering with other fragrance houses and different candle companies, but they didn't like us, so they said no. But we might have to put out something in competition with them in the next year or so. We'll see. I don't think they really even bothered to look at who we were, but that's okay. So accessories, I'm looking at doing some toppers that are kind of like shades and maybe even hurricanes in the next year. And I want to use the same technology that we paint the jars to do decorations on them. So I'm working on a few glass hurricanes that you could put the jars in that would get decorated on our decorating equipment and have different prints and designs, but all in the same kind of shape. So we'll see. But we're really focused on making the candles right now, and we're behind, and we've got very limited capacity right now. So thinking about expanding the line, my finance team and everybody else would be kicking me at the moment to say, what the hell are you doing? But that's my job, is to push the boundaries and try to do more. So we'll see.
That's exciting. So
Yeah.
I bet it's got to be frustrating to be limited when you have a crazy imagination, to just have to keep it like realistic.
It is. It's a constant battle with my CFO to be like, hey, I want to buy this new machine and do this new cool thing. And he's like, no. I'm like, but wait, I own the company. He's like, but
cut off.
Stop it. No, it's great though. My CFO, Paul, and we have a great relationship. We're best friends, and he's helped tremendously with the company, and he's also doing a lot of our contract fill sales at the moment. So we have a great relationship, but it's he and I definitely like push and pull when it comes to new technology. And I had to twist his arm quite a bit to get that decorating machine at first, and then we got a couple big accounts that are using it, and now he's kind of coming around to it. So we've got this really cool new thing I'm working on for next year. It's a picture frame candle. Did I show you that, Brett?
You did. Mm-hmm.
So it's a picture frame candle, and if I can pull up a photo of it, let me see. The idea came to me from the idea of like, there's a lot of companies that'll print you like a label and stick it on the candle and be like, oh, here's your picture. But it's never the same quality of stock that they use on the main label. It seems like, they're printing paper on an Epson printer in their back room and slapping it on a candle. So I wanted to do something higher quality and really keepsake. And we have this fantastic print/paint machine in-house that prints the 3-wick jars and the country candle black bands, and we wanted to use that same technology and do something that could be custom. But when you have that machine, it spins the jar, and if the candle was full before you painted it, the weight would really distort the print. So we have to do it on a flatbed. So we're working on one that would essentially look like this, and it would be a picture frame.
Oh.
It would be filled, and it could be printed on both sides. And the frame area would be clear glass that you'll see through. So there'll be no candle behind the clear glass. So it'll be very thick glass, and it'll look fantastic. And to the front, it'll kind of look like.
That's so cool.
Come on. I'm trying to get the. Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. That's a really good idea.
So we're working on this, and it'll be, something that you can upload a photo on the website, and you'll have this really nice kind of picture frame keepsake that'll be a centerpiece, 2-wick soy candle. They come in a really nice box with a handwritten note that you can type in on the website, any kind of message that you may want to send somebody, if it's a Mother's Day gift or a Father's Day gift or Christmas or any occasion. And they'll have all sorts of customization stuff that you can do. So it'll be kind of neat, but I'm right in the infancy stage of working on that. So all my competition is now going to know about it because of our video. But,
And your
Harry,
team is going to have
Harry,
words for you tomorrow
if I
morning.
see a custom candle on your website, Harry, I'm going to know you got it from me now.
We'll be able to reference this video.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll have timestamp on it there.
Yeah.
Your team is going to be yelling at you tomorrow morning when you roll in.
I think Ashley was already posting on here. I think she made a couple comments. Where is she? Ashley. Yep, there she is. She's laughing at my picture at 10:01. It's because I look so terrible today. I was in the factory for a long time. But yeah, Ashley's helping us with the web and our influencer program. I think you both know Ashley.
Yeah, she's great.
She's great. And her mom runs all of our product purchasing and ordering. So she orders all of our fragrance and wicks and wax and labels and keeps us going. So she's worked for us for 10 or 11 years. And her dad also works for us. And he used to run the factory at Yankee Candle for my dad. And he started when he was 16 years old pouring votive candles and worked his way all the way up to running the entire factory. And did an amazing job. And he now works for us as well in our facility. So their whole family works for us basically. So we love the Pinatiris. We love them.
You're like, you're coming with me, buddy.
Yeah. So no, they're great. So anyway, but
hey, a question about these poor Canadians who would really love to have your candles. How can we get your candles to Canada?
I would love to get my candles in Canada. We have kicked that around for many years, and the biggest barrier is the trade tariffs. There's just huge taxes due on the candles when they go across the border, and that makes them relatively not competitive. So you have to have your own distribution center, and you have to be sending huge quantities of candles over the border in order to try to make that viable. We actually have been working on something relatively recently. There's a company for sale in Canada that we're kind of considering looking at, and we're not sure if we're going to do it or not. And it's very, very early, and I can't talk much about it, but part of our reason for looking at it was to break into the Canadian market because it's a great market to be a part of. I mean, lots of candle burners, and it's cold as hell there, so everybody could use a little fragrance and warmth and light, and we would love to do it. It's just been a struggle because you just can't be very competitive. Your typical, large Kringle jar that retails here for $29.50 would probably have to be, $39.50, and that's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough. And there's a lot of middlemen, and we've talked to distributors who want to buy the candles from us and then import them there. But when you work with a third party, then it'll probably be like $45. It's tough, and you don't have a lot of control over it at that point. So I'm hopeful that we can come up with a solution in the next year or so, but it hasn't been great as up to this point.
Yeah.
It's tough. I would love to sell everywhere, but tariffs and everything are challenging to trade.
But you were over in Europe for a while, right?
Yep, we've got distributors all over the place in Europe. Poland and Germany and Sweden and Czechoslovakia and Australia and Israel and Australia. We're all over the place. We were in the UK for quite some time, but with the whole Brexit thing, we ended up having a falling out with one of our distributors in the UK. But if anyone's listening from the UK, we're taking applications. We'll see. But the problem with distributors is, as a candle manufacturer, you really don't make any money off of selling candles like that. You might sell them for 50 cents more than it costs you to make them. But they do bring volume, and in the hopes of keeping raw material costs down, if you can make larger volume of your product and buy larger quantities of wax and wicks and fragrance and jars, you might get a penny or two off from all of those and, make your other channels a little bit more profitable. But as far as selling them internationally, you really barely break even on them.
Okay. It's interesting to hear that information because, as a consumer, I don't think of those things. I just think, how can I get the best deal? But there is a lot that goes into, the back end of it. So I don't think that we don't think about it.
It's tough. I would love to be able to sell our candles in every country at the same price that we sell them here, but I don't have control over that because we don't have our own physical locations there that we're shipping the candles to, and our own teams on the ground running it. That's huge investment. I mean, just insane that, at this point, it's just not in the cards for us. But, bringing in a partner and a distributor, they build the industry, they build that territory. But you have to build in margin for them because they've got their own business with their own employees, and they have to pay the rent and the utilities. And that's kind of the struggle, is bringing in middlemen. But that's why candles are more expensive in Europe than they are here.
So do you think that's why Yankee built their factory in the Czech Republic to avoid that?
A lot of it is because they're also bringing in, raw materials from overseas to the U.S. and then to ship them back as finished products is tough. Massachusetts in general has some of the highest direct labor that you could imagine. I mean, you're paying a lot for labor in Massachusetts compared to other states in the U.S. as well, and that's where their factory is. That's where our factory is. So it's not the most competitive manufacturing place to be in. So I think for the European market, Yankee built their factory in the Czech because it's very competitive there, and they can ship all the international candles out of that facility. But I have no insider trading, so I don't know. That's just my guess.
Fascinating.
Yes.
This is all stuff that we don't think about as consumers at all. We're just like, we just want our stuff.
It's tough. Well, I'm really excited to get the two of you to develop your own candles. So I think this is going to be fun. This is going to give you some insight into what it takes to make a finished product. So I'm excited to get that going, and I'm going to be talking with the lab tomorrow, and we'll start it going. So why don't the both of you kind of text me some bullet points on how you'd like your fragrance to smell? I think you're both going to go with the soy formula. Is that what?
I think so. I'll think it over, but I think so.
Keep in mind, the aesthetic of the candle. So if you wanted it painted, you can't do the Kringle jar because it has the foot. So if you wanted it done on the digital, painter,
we get access to the decorator machine.
Yeah, anything that you've seen us do, we can do for you. So think about the vessel. Think about whatever you think. We could try to make something happen. So we've got some time. We'll try to launch these for probably August or September because it's going to take that amount of time. You're going to see, the process that we'll go through. But, give me your list of fragrance notes that you want in it. Think about the design. We'll offline, we'll talk about where to find the imagery, and I'll send you a link so you can start searching for imagery, and we'll work back and forth. We'll send you some digital renderings so you can be like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this part. And, be detailed about it, and we'll make it all come together, and it'll be fun, and you'll learn something and we'll learn something. It'll be great.
I'm excited. Thank you for
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Of course. I'm excited. It'll be fun. The team is going to kick me when they hear about this tomorrow, but I think it'll be great.
Yeah, we're making candles for two people who know nothing about anything.
But we have to document it. So every time I send you samples, you're going to get the box, and I'll have do not open until you're on camera.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We'll go through the whole process so that everybody can see it. I think it'll be fun. It'll be fascinating.
Love it.
All right. All right. Well, I'm probably going to call it a night here. I think we're going on 2 hours now, which is
I think
I'm to chat with both of you, and I really enjoyed it. So I'd love to do this again with you soon, and we'll be working on these candles here in the coming weeks.
Sounds good. Melanie, you're going to hang on for a little bit?
I'll hang out with you for a little bit. Yeah.
It's early by you.
Right.
Right. Take care.
Okay, Mick, thanks.
How do I do this?
Just close out.
Oh my God, we get to make our own candles.
This is scary.
I'm so excited.
That's a very, very, very awesome offer. Very, very awesome offer.
That's amazing. But by the way, you guys, we had no idea he was going to do that. That blew my mind.
And by the way, the whole thing started with Melanie and I just wanted to do a chat. And then Mick messaged me and said, hey, you might have to hop on. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I told him Melanie. And
now we have our own collabs.
There you go. All right, so let's talk about some holiday fragrances.
Is anyone still here? Who's here?
There's 99 people watching us right now.
There's still people watching. You guys are my heroes. This has been the longest live stream ever, I feel like.
2 hours and 15 minutes about right now.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, all right.
Where do you want to go with this?
You know, I think we have some folks here who really like the homework candles. Let's talk about the homeworks.
Okay.
Or homeworks and nest, maybe homeworks.
Yeah.
Did you smell Boughs of Holly yet?
No, I did not get any of those candles. Should I?
I like this one the best. There's 3 other ones. There's a citrus one that I wasn't too fond of it.
Okay.
But the Boughs of Holly, I have one burning, not right now, but I had one burning, and great performance, just like the fall ones were, or the summer ones.
Okay. Well, I might grab some of those because they do sell them at. There's an Ulta out by the airport that has the Homeworks candles, and maybe I'll hit that up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3-wick, 14.5 ounce, winter holly, frozen fir, winter musk, and sheer amber. I think this should really be coming out in the 4-wick next year.
Yeah.
This would be my winner.
Good one. Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
I'll grab that one for sure. I have to go out there to grab something for my niece for Christmas anyway, so I'll hit up the Ulta store and see if I can find it there.
Yeah. Good. Anybody in the chat here? I know, Melanie, you haven't tried it yet. Have you guys tried the Aroma Home yet? Any of these candles? These are also a Harry Slatkin brand.
Yeah, did you guys know that? He got into Home Depot.
Home Depot, yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're $10.
Really surprised me. I think Home Depot surprised me more than the Nordstrom Rack and the TJ Maxx and the Marshalls.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And Home Depot surprised me more.
Agreed, right? Because it's not, it's not the candle community market, right?
No.
It's the DIYer market.
Yeah.
The construction worker.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good, and they're made in USA. They're just like Scentworks. So they're made in USA. They're $10. They're 18 ounces, and they're 2-wick, and they have a nice textured jar.
It's like a really nice clean burn too.
Yeah, so far. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. Okay, well, that's good.
And I don't trim the wicks because they're kind of like those wicks that just keep going.
Okay, so
this is the cinnamon sugar cookie. What was that?
Pro tip: don't trim the wicks.
Yes, not on these at least. Baked cookie, cinnamon stick, sugar crystals, and vanilla bean. If you guys like the hot cider donut, you'll like this.
Oh, okay. I do love me some hot cider donut. And you know what else I just recently pulled out? I love this one.
Oh, the vanilla bean macaron.
Did you ever have that one?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's such a good one, man. This one is it's like the perfect amount of sweetness. This is, I think, one of his best vanilla candles that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't tried Happy Birthday. Have you tried Happy Birthday?
I have it in the plug-in, and to me, it smells like.
Me too.
Smells like funfetti.
Yes.
Like you go get a funfetti mix. That's exactly what it smells like.
Yeah. I need to try the candle. It's that QVC shipping. So I saw some people talking about the QVC shipping on the side. QVC just in general, the price increase there. I feel like those are kind of nuts.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
And they're just random. They don't make sense. If it made sense, I'd be like, okay. But I feel like they change the prices so dramatically and so frequently that I think it turns people off, which is disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people will shop from there because they have the best selection.
Yeah. Well, I know everybody's talking about in the Homeworks Facebook group, the new trio of the blueberry muffin and the apple butter, I think it is, or whatever that one is, plus the cinnamon French toast there.
Yeah.
And that's in a special glass, but it's only $58 for the trio, which is actually a really good price.
Yeah.
For that. Then you're paying $7.50 to ship. And they have other trios on there that are not the special glass. They're like $65, $67.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that they don't clearance anything out from the previous seasons just blows my mind. Wouldn't you just want that stuff gone? How long? to
remember
it.
the first year they did, right? The first year in 2008, summer of 2018, they were fire sailing the Christmas stuff from
I got
2017.
deals. I got some
Yeah,
good.
it's like $25 a duo, and I've got where do I have it here? I've got Deck the Halls,
Yep.
the old school 3-wick,
Mm-hmm.
still good as always.
Yeah. That's
But
yeah.
it's
It's just disappointing because like I feel like I don't know, they're limiting their sales when they do that. I feel like.
they have a lot. They have close to 200 individual homework pieces on the website right now. I think
Yeah.
if you look at it, and I know Harry and Homeworks don't do anything with the pricing or the shipping on there, but it's just like, does QVC really have that much space to keep the inventory for this stuff?
Yeah. And that's like I feel like that's what everyone should know is that like once Harry like basically I think he essentially wholesales the candles to QVC. What they do with the pricing, you guys, is totally up to QVC. So when it goes up and down, it's not Homeworks or Harry saying, "Hey, up the price of this candle by $25." Like it's QVC making that decision. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the hard part when you wholesale your candles out. Like you kind of lose control over a little bit of that like presentation and obviously the price point.
Yeah, kind of what Mick was saying, when it comes to wholesale, and they've got to make their profit there as well. But it's good to know that it appears Harry's really working on his e-commerce site.
I think he is. Yeah,
Scentworks are available there. If you guys don't know, okay.
What did he just recently bring to the website that I'm spacing on?
The Scentworks Spirit candles.
Yes, that's
and they're
it.
they're $12.50, and they're cheaper than Kohl's right now.
Mm-hmm.
Got the whole line.
Yeah, I think it's smart of him. I do kind of wish that, in a way, I wish that Harry would just sell his own candles. I feel like he would have a little bit more control that way. And maybe there would be more customer satisfaction, but I don't know. I mean, people will find a million things to complain about, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's got to be hard. I mean, I don't envy them and the decisions that they have to make. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to make all those decisions.
Yeah.
Definitely not my thing.
But, all right, we'll see how it goes. It's looking like it's going in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And see how the Slacken & Co. People are talking about Slacken & Co. See how that plays out. That's going to be another interesting launch.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what he's going to do with that and where that's going to go and what it's going to look like. I think I'm most curious about like I'm curious about the behind the scenes stuff, like how he's like developing this.
Yeah.
Be very interesting to see. For sure.
Yeah, Ashley said here, so happy Scentworks is online because Kohl's shipping is big yikes. Yeah, it is. That's why I only do store pickup with Kohl's.
Yeah. I've seen some of the orders on the Homeworks page where I'm just like, ooh.
They're worse than Bath and Body Works at times. They just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have a Yankee candle order today that is smashed in shipment. FedEx just told me a little while ago it was smashed in shipment and they won't be getting it to me. So that's gonna be fun.
That's
gonna be fun.
Did they like boot it up your driveway?
No, it made it to Philadelphia, the distribution center, and said packages damaged, cannot deliver.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, real nice, real nice.
I hate that. I will say these, as many of these these are great.
Yeah, I collect them.
Yeah, they're great for like storing the candles, and they're great for shipping them. Nothing was even remotely damaged, and my Kringle box, you guys, is pretty messed up. Like someone definitely had their time with this Kringle box, but everything is fine. It's all fine. By the way, this one is really good. Did you tell me to get this one, the Snowy Bridge?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
I like this one too.
It's like a little smoky, airy.
Yeah. Man, he does a really good job with the tree scents. I feel like both Harry and Mick do a really good job with like basic tree scents. Yeah. I wonder if it's easy to make those, or I'd be curious.
Mick's still watching, so let's do a chat with the three of us and Harry sometime. I'm game.
Oh yeah. Hey, Mick, is it easy to make like tree scented candles? Because you guys do some amazing tree scents. That's really nice. I like that. This one's good, you guys. If you have not gotten the Snowy Bridge, like I need to start burning this tomorrow. That's really nice. It is a little bit smoky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice.
You know what else I love? I now have 10 of these, you guys. I haven't even, like, I've only burned part of one, but I have ordered 10 of this Sicilian orange.
All in the same vessel?
In 2022, because this is all you'll see in my weekly home fragrance roundup. So good.
All of the same vessel?
Yeah.
Same format?
Same format. I love this format. I don't know what it is about this, like, it's the fact that the wax stays white. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Every time. It doesn't change colors, you guys. It's crazy.
Luann's like, I'm going to the Kringle site now.
It's not easy, but it's one of my favorite scent types. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's not easy to make a tree scent. Great luck with Kringle and Homeworks shipping. Good.
Yeah, so Homeworks did some improvement with the shipping, not from themselves, but from Ulta finally, right? They finally sent everything to Ulta in their own individual boxes, and then Ulta, for a while, they were taking them out of the box and then throwing them in the box.
Can you believe that? Oh man,
yeah.
That burned Harry's biscuits. Like, I bet he was just fuming when he was like seeing that in the group and just like, bah, you've got to be kidding me. After
one of my original orders, they took it out of the package and they put tape. They put Scotch tape over the lid onto the candle.
Leave it in the box, Ulta. Like, they literally did it for you.
Yeah.
Leave it in the box. These people, oh man. No, I know what they're trying to do. So Ulta has like very specific sized boxes that they work with for their orders. Like, I've been ordering for long enough to know the 3 different sizes that they offer. And if it doesn't fit within their 3 different boxes, it's got to come out of like the box that Harry sent, and they're just going to put it in a couple pieces of bubble wrap and hope for the best. I'd love to know how much it costs Ulta to replace stuff, because I know for me, on average, just with even like makeup stuff, they replace probably at least $500 worth of stuff a year for me.
That's crazy.
That's
not even fragile stuff, right? You're talking like shower gels.
Yeah, even shampoo bottles. When I do like the liter sales, I'll typically order them online, which I should just go in store. But yeah, like it just shattered bottles of conditioner and shampoo just leaked all over it's super frustrating because they just don't pack the stuff really well. It's insane.
Now, how's Sephora? Because they sell Nest.
Sephora is much better. So Sephora is really big about using like the cardboard paper stuff, and they will just stuff that paper. So much of it, like you just are pulling out paper for days, and then you have like your mascara. It's nuts how Sephora does it compared to Ulta. It's a totally different type of package experience. Totally different.
Now, do you order Nest from them online?
I do. I try to order Nest from their website because their packaging is usually pretty good. But I have to tell you, this year with Nest, I've been kind of disappointed because I feel like they changed their wax and it's even softer now. And a lot of my candles came with the wax, like on that plastic topper that they put on top of their candles. Like, and this was during like the cold weather months, so there was no chance of it like melting or anything along the way. But they're just really gooey and messy, and I didn't want to have to deal with like Nordstrom for the return, and so I just wiped the wax off and I cleaned it up, and it burns just fine. But like when I pay 70, how much are the 3 weeks? Like 75. 72
now, I think.
Yeah, I think they're like
74.
Yeah. like when you pay that much for just one 3-wick candle, like you want it to be pristine. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like they changed their wax a little bit. It's much softer this year, which is, I mean, it's burning fine. It's burning exactly like before, but like the presentation of it was definitely disappointing.
Has anybody else gotten a new Nest in the chat here? I'm just curious if anybody else has your same experience.
Yeah. Do you guys buy Nest? Do you think that the wax formula is different? It really, it doesn't, it's so soft that like I could literally put my finger like straight through the entire candle. And it's never really been quite that soft in the past before. So I feel like they changed something. The scents are still incredible. Like I love their core holiday scents. I think they're amazing, but yeah, the presentation was definitely not there for me this year.
Yeah, I toyed with the idea of getting the Pura system with the Nest.
Yeah.
Because Sephora's got 20% off right now.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be definitely get it on sale because that system is like it's $80, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spendy one for sure. You know, I thought about it, but I just have such terrible luck with plugins. So I don't know if that system would be that much better.
Yeah, I go in waves of plugins. Right now I have the Homeworks gingerbread pudding going right now. In the bathroom. That's all it's really good for in there. But before I had the new Yankee Candle one that has the fan on it.
Yeah.
That's really good. That performs a lot, and you can actually control how much fragrance output you want.
Okay.
So it's like small, medium, or large. And you know, Bath and Body Works has that wallflower plugin that does the same thing, but it's like online only and in select stores.
Yeah, I don't know. I have not had luck with the Bath and Body Works plugins for years now. And those used to be the main thing that I would get from Bath and Body Works, even more so than their candles, is I would buy the wallflower plugins because they were such a great way just to have continuous fragrance in your house. And I really don't think it's a case of like being nose blind because I never became nose blind to them in the past. But now I would say after the first week, I can't smell a wallflower at all.
Yeah, you gotta unplug it. I think plug it back in after a few days. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just not a plug-in person anymore. Like I really do like the ambiance of the candles. And then, you know, obviously I do a fair amount of Scentsy as well. So I like, you know, the little, it's like almost like a nightlight effect from like my different warmers that I keep on in the downstairs of the house. So I really kind of like that like ambiance that I get from there. But yeah, the plug-in things for me are just, I don't think they're my thing.
Yeah. Remember the old scent ports that Harry did back in Bath and Body Works? They were the square ones or rectangle ones.
What happened with those? Who got rid of those real fast?
I know. I still have a bunch. I don't have any refills for them, but I like the, I used, I think it was the lavender vanilla was one that I was really fond of.
Yeah.
In that one there.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, the scent control wallflower has been good for me. Yeah, high setting. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing here. With the Yankee one, if I put it on high setting, it's almost gone within like 2 weeks.
Really? It burns through it that fast?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, at least with the Yankee one. Yeah, that's what Ken said. Yep, same thing.
Yeah. I think you should, I'm going to put you in charge of this. You should buy that Pura one and test it and see if it really is any better. Like, I don't know that I necessarily think there's enough reviews for me to be like, okay, I want to splurge on this thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many reviews. I know they're working with a lot of companies like Wax Cabin, which I find weird they would work with Wax Cabin over Kringle, but who knows? I don't know. That just seems weird to me. But yeah, and they have Volcano in it too.
They do.
Capri, not Capri Sun. Jeez.
Also delicious.
Yes, very sugary sweet there.
Yes.
Yeah, I can vouch for the Yankee fans. Yep, they work very well.
Well, that's good to hear. Maybe I'll try one of the Yankee fans. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to pick one
No,
of those up.
you get a kit for $20. It comes with the fan and a plug-in.
Yeah.
18, $20.
I'll definitely try that. I feel like that's an easier thing to justify than like an $80 system. So
I like the Bluetooth feature because it doesn't have to be on all the time,
yeah.
right? So when you're not home, you're not wasting fragrance.
Okay,
I think,
that's smart. I didn't know that you could like shut it off.
yeah,
That's
you can control it with your phone, and you can control how intense you want the smell.
Okay. Okay, I'll try that. I will try that.
Yeah.
Can I get my cranberry chutney? I should look into that, but maybe you know. Do you know? Can I get my cranberry chutney in that?
I think you can.
Probably.
I think
Okay.
you can.
All right. I'll try
I
it.
think you can. Somebody who wants to research Yankees website, see if you can get a cranberry chutney and the scent plug refill.
Please do the work for me. I don't want to. So.
What else we have here? Let's talk Bath and Body Works, man.
Oh yes. Okay.
I feel they have been very lackluster in their innovation, in their scent innovation this year.
I think they're so used to doing repackages at this point that just is like that's their thing. Like Bath and Body Works, you can get the same thing every single year. And again, that does appeal to me in one way, but also I don't know, it is nice to try new things. And for example, like this iced cranberry scone, like to me this smells so similar to blueberry pie. But I did have one of these left from last year, so the sweet cranberry pie. I think this might just be this slightly different. Now that Kent, you're here. Do you think that iced cranberry scone is blueberry pie, or do you think it's sweet cranberry pie? I want to know what Kent thinks. Because I mean, it's nice. I really like this, but yeah, it's a lot of repackages constantly.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't find Candle Day too appealing for me this year.
Yeah,
I want like the new stuff. Like last year, like the Under the Christmas Tree, great fragrance. I love that. Love that.
Look what I have.
Yeah, that's really nice packaging.
Yeah, this is a good one. I thought iced cranberry scone was pretty much sweet cranberry pie. Yeah. They're so similar. Yeah, at first, really, to me, it was like blueberry pie. But once I got this one out, I was like, oh, yeah. Here we go. It's just this. I don't know. But I feel like they've been doing that like forever. I feel like since Harry left, it's just been like, let's just put out the same stuff again and again and again and again.
And mahogany teakwood. Ugh.
Yeah. It must be that, I mean, obviously they have people that analyze all this stuff, right? But I mean, it must be profitable to just run it that way.
Well, we, us candle community folks, everybody who buys and is on Instagram and whatnot, we're not their main audience. We're the main audience is the folks walking the mall, and they can get fresh lilac, every year they can get champagne toast, and it's just, I don't know.
I know.
I think they come up with like 5 new scents a season, like 5 innovative scents, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Halloween was a swing and a miss for them this year. They had that haunted house, whatever that was called, that purple one.
Yep.
Huge potential, and it turned out being like a cologne candle.
Yeah.
Huge potential.
Yeah. Kent said, yeah, repackages are what sells. We're a super vocal minority. Yeah. Which is disappointing because, like, I mean, where do most people get their thoughts on candles these days, right? It's by reading reviews and watching reviews. I feel like we are all trained to be review people now. Like you look up what other people say, and for them to not cater to that a little bit more seems strange to me. There's a lot of people telling Bath and Body Works, like, please change these things and things will go better for you, and they just don't do it.
Well, prices keep going up. I mean, we've got body care day tomorrow and Saturday.
Oh, what are they going for?
$5.50.
Okay. I've never been into their body care. Have you?
I was a while ago. They used to make like the body butters. I enjoy when they had the tubs. I think they make them in a few fragrances anymore. But I like the scrubs, and I actually really like the moisturizing body wash.
Okay.
I do like that.
Yeah.
But they're charging $13.50 for a men's deodorant.
That's nuts.
Come on.
It's too much. It's too much for what their brand is and who their target audience is. I feel like they're kind of losing sight of who they're selling to.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems...
Well, they're staying open. They're not closing stores.
No,
they're doing the opposite of what Yankees doing.
Yeah.
Yankees closing stores. Bath and Body Works keeps opening stores. So
yeah,
something's going right for them.
Yeah.
But we are the minority.
Yeah. Bummer. Oh well. I mean, they obviously know what they're doing, but I mean, I miss the good old days of Bath and Body Works. Like, I really do miss when it was exciting and when things were being released and it was just new and fabulous, and it doesn't excite me at all anymore. Dogs came in.
Yeah, I wasn't pumped for Candle Day this year.
Yeah.
I went in at 7:30 on Saturday morning, and they were unloading all the new stuff, like the day 2 stuff apparently.
Yeah.
And I picked up 4 candles, used a coupon, and that's all. I didn't, go crazy.
Yeah. Well, my store, when I walked by on Saturday, all the candles were fully stocked, which on Candle Days in the past, they would sell out at by 6 a.m., because me and every other fool in, Portland was standing in a line outside of the store, trying to get and we would just cram everything into our little buggies and stuff that we brought along. And I don't think it was like that this year.
Right. And the price, $10.25 or $10.50, it's not horrible, but it's not far off from your everyday price.
Yeah, that's the regular sale, which is why I didn't do it, because I was you know what, I'll just go on a $12.95 Candle Day sale and bring my 20% off, and it might not be quite as good of a deal, but to not deal with the hassle of it, I don't know, the older I get, the more I'm I can't I can't stand in lines, I can't deal with people anymore. I would just rather order online, or it's just easier. Yeah,
someone's saying here sales were bad for Candle Day.
Well, did you hear that people were getting their orders canceled?
It happens every time. And you would think with the queuing system they were doing this year that they would be able to control inventory better.
That blew my mind. She had all but one of her candles canceled, and she ordered I think 20 different candles. All but one shipped. That's nuts.
It's crazy.
With a queue. Why do you have the queue? Why are you selling candles that you don't have? Why are you doing that?
And then the automatic fake sellout online.
Yeah. But the next day, they're all back in stock.
All the time.
Yeah. For me, it's the shadiness. I think Melanie does not like Goose Creek. Yeah. I do not. But yeah, for me, I think the integrity of the companies that I buy from is really important. I'm a big integrity person. And if I see that a company is trying, or they're at least making some effort towards changing or being, you guys, knock it off, you're killing me right now. Sorry if you can hear them, they're nuts. But yeah, for me, integrity is just such a huge thing. I don't know. I realize that it's not everybody's thing, but for me, that's just a really important factor. So.
Yes, I mean, that's that. And Yankee, I know someone's talked about Yankee here. I mean, not much to talk about. I have a few candles, maybe 1 or 2.
Hey, did you ever like White Christmas? Because that came out again.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
You weren't. Did you smell cat pee?
I don't, people say Christmas wreath smells like cat pee, and I can kind of see where they're going with it, but I don't necessarily get that.
Okay. I love White Christmas, but I totally missed it. I was kind of upset. Like when I finally was like, oh shoot, it's back. It was already sold out.
Yeah, but it was a single wick, so it might not have done much for you.
Yeah, probably not. But like,
Yeah.
it had a beautiful label. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yankees. Their Christmas releases this year were just way too conceptual. That Movie Night Cocoa is anything but Movie Night Cocoa.
Really.
It's like powdery. The Tree Farm Festival candle, that's really nice. It's got a lot of gardenia in it. Ironically enough. And then the other two, there's the Mary Berry, which someone told me smells like yogurt. And I think so too.
Yeah.
And then the Twinkling Lights one, that's kind of like a powdery candle as well. And then there's a new in-store, only so far, called Chocolate Advent Calendar.
Oh.
But when I smell it, it smells like a coffee shop espresso, which isn't bad.
Yeah, and that's not bad. But it's just misnamed.
It's not bad.
Yeah. It's misnamed.
Yeah. Sugar apple was back online. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I have some backups of like the OG sugared apple back here in my little stash. That sugared apple is a good one. That's a good scent. I like that one.
Yeah, someone says pine and grapefruit is surprisingly good. Yeah, I have in my Yankee Candle Day order. I spent more money at Yankee on Candle Day than I did from Bath and Body Works.
Oh,
I have this silver sage and pine coming.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Really like that one.
Yeah. So did you fall for their shady email that they did that there's no line at Yankee?
Yeah, I didn't actually personally get that. I saw people post it. I did not get that email.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. So I was just like, oh, Yankee.
Yeah, no virtual queue here.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, hey, man, I love them to compete. I love them to throw a little shade here and there.
Yeah. It's interesting to see it happen. Like that one was kind of spicy to me. I liked it, but definitely threw some shade.
Oh yeah, someone said banana pumpkin scone was nice. Yeah, that was a really good one from the fall.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, that was really good.
And like those are two scents that I would normally not pair together, but that actually sounds amazing.
It goes more on the banana bread side.
Does it?
Yeah.
And Yankee had a banana bread candle at one point, right?
Yep. And it actually came back in the fall as a returning favorite. Want some of the new spring ones? I guess I'll hit Kohl's. Yeah, they have all 4 of them right now. The new, it's called the Sakura Blossom Festival Collection.
They're selling them for $10.66 at Kohl's. Am I reading that?
Oh, yeah. People are using a 30% off coupon, I think, from your credit card, plus their buy one get one free today.
Oh, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get them for that price for sure. Ooh, Kohl's. Yeah. Okay. Compete.
Yeah, but Yankees collections lately, they've just been blah.
Yeah.
They were doing good for the past 2 years, and then this year was kind of really blah.
Yeah.
Somebody said up here, banana pumpkin scone. You gotta try that. Let's see. Kohl's on sale. Yep.
Yeah.
Movie Night Cocoa is a disaster.
It sounds kind of gross if it's like some weird, like powdery. Like, why would you do that? That's so easy to get right.
And that's the way I feel about Bath and Body Works peppermint hot cocoa this year. That green one.
I don't do peppermint.
It's like all peppermint and a little bit of cocoa.
Oh,
yeah. It's really not that great.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah. Let's see.
Christmas wreath does smell like cat pee.
I think it's either it does or it doesn't. There's no in between.
That's so interesting to me when people say they smell the cat pee, because I'm just always like, I just don't have that receptor in my nose. Like it just doesn't even like register with me. But everybody's nose is different. I mean, it really is so unique.
It is. It is. All right. Anybody have any questions? We can.
Do you guys have any questions? God, we've been talking for so long.
I know. I think we'll wrap it up in 10 minutes. So it's almost 11 o'clock my time here.
I know you have to go.
Yeah, I have a far commute to work tomorrow.
Ooh, brutal.
No, I mean like my living room.
Yeah. Brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, brutal, very brutal.
If there was only one candle you were allowed to burn for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, I have mine, and it's gonna be Homework's Harvest Leaves.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
I feel like I could almost do that one year round, but it's so friggin' perfect for the fall, and that fall is just my season. I love fall.
Yeah. I'd have to go with one of the lilac florals. I love the fresh lilac from Bath and Body Works. I love, or whatever, lilac blossom or whatever they call it there.
Yeah.
The lilac from Kringle and the lilac from Yankee. I love all the lilacs. So there's like a nice purple, dirty, earthy fragrance.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have
really
a lilac bush or tree in your yard?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah, it's a special tree. Tree to me. My mom planted it many years ago. So yeah, I very, very
nostalgic thing for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of things in my life work with in regard to scent there.
Yeah. And you love your pure florals.
I do. And that's, I talk to Harry, I'm like, come on, don't put the fruit in my floral here.
I love your beef with Harry where you're just do not mix the fruit.
Yeah. I mean, and then when he came out with the Lily of the Valley scent this year, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
That was done really well. That was
done amazing. I think I bought 4 of them. They are such a powerhouse.
Yeah, that's a strong one.
Yeah, leave the fruits out of my florals, please.
See, like that makes the florals to me a little bit more palatable because it just keeps it from smelling like work for me.
Yeah.
I think that's the rub for me is like I am just like all spring and summer, like I am just used to having my face in flowers and it's so like intense. And I mean, you had a florist in the family, so like it's just like the constant smells and I don't want to smell that anymore.
Yeah, I grew up in a flower shop. My grandmother's sister owned a flower shop. I mean, I grew up going to it and working in the back there. So, what are each of your number 1 Kringle candles?
Ooh.
I've got to go with Christmas Stroll on this one. It's been my top favorite for years now, ever since I smelled it. It's just so unique. It's just nostalgia again.
Yeah.
I've got to go with that.
So I haven't burned like enough to really like only be able to answer this, but I will tell you, I fell in love with Cozy Christmas. I think that little bit of that like smokiness in there just got me because I think a lot of times those like hearth type scents are just too smoky for me, but that struck the perfect balance of like a smokiness
too much for you.
With a like a holiday tree. It just smelled like a cabin in the woods at Christmas to me, and that just it made me happy. I love that. I will repurchase that next year in a heartbeat, and I will have several of them. So good. That was definitely
number 1 Homeworks candle and go.
Harvest Leaves.
Fall chrysanthemums.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That shocked me.
So unique.
Yeah.
I have never ever smelled a candle before in my life that was that authentic to having mums.
And it has that like earthy dirt note too.
Yep.
I can see that now for sure.
I've never ever smelled anything that authentic.
Yeah. Okay.
And it lasted 2 years, which I'm shocked it even lasted 2 years. I thought it was going to be one of those because it's very unique.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be a main,
Did you
favorite there.
In any kind of way, or were you just like, I'll?
Did I what?
Did you hoard it?
Yeah, I think I had like 6 of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have 6 of them, and I think Did they do it as a wax melt too? I think that might have been one of the years he was still doing wax melts.
They may have, yeah. Yeah, the fall chrysanthemum, it did have a beautiful label. I did like the label of that one. That was really well done. Tiare Sunrise, that's another one that really surprised me when I burned it. I was like, I really like this. That's a beautiful tropical floral that was amazing. Melanie, what's the strongest smelling flower you've ever encountered in your floral arrangements? You know what the strongest roses are to me, and tell me if you think this is true, Brett, but the David Austin roses. Any of the David Austin roses, like the Patience, the Gwendolyn, like any of those, they're so strong and they're beautiful and they're crazy expensive, of course. But I would say David Austin roses. And Kent, if I know you really like those like classic rose scents, that you would love those particular roses. They're beautiful. They're like a modern rose fragrance. They're really well done. I don't grow up.
So you think they're stronger than like any jasmine you've worked with?
Jasmine's pretty strong, but I really do think that in terms of like traditional flowers, I guess, those are the ones that stand out to me the most for sure. But jasmine, absolutely. I started growing a jasmine in our backyard because I love that like intoxicating scent that comes from them. They're heavenly. If you can get a jasmine to grow in your yard, you should plant one of those because they're beautiful and they're hardy. Like our jasmine is just like it just exploded.
Right. I keep mine, and I did jasmine 2 years ago, and we got low cold temperatures and it didn't survive. Now I do plumeria, and I do them in pots, so I bring them in the house in the wintertime.
Plumeria is beautiful too. That's a very like distinct type of floral scent, plumeria.
Yeah. Yes, very fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
I got 2 pinks and a yellow, I think. Let's see here.
I like the pink jasmine.
Yeah, it's got an interesting smell to it.
Yeah,
it's not as in your face.
Yeah, the white one is like it'll get you. Yeah, Brett in Scentsy. I don't think I'm gonna convince him.
You know, every time I go to these vendor fairs, these craft shows around here, these street fairs, there's always a Scentsy dealer there or Scentsy consultant there. And I spend like 10, 15 minutes like going through the product there. And I'm like, I don't know, $6.50, $7 a thing. I don't melt wax that much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these are scents I can kind of get elsewhere. I haven't found anything like that unique for me. Like they had an opportunity, in my opinion, when they did the football line, the NFL football line. They made the scent a cologne scent. I don't want that. I want like turf and dirt. Like if you're going after that market, don't give it like a cologne scent.
Yeah.
And I just think the price of their melters are outrageous, but that's just me.
Yeah. But I will say they're definitely different than like the stuff that you get at Walmart. Like, I don't know.
No doubt.
Yeah. I think they're worth splurging on, but I do understand that like the price point it's a bit much for most people, and I can understand why people are not into it. But yeah, I don't know. I've always had really good luck with consistency from them. I think that's why I keep going back is like, I usually am able to get several days out of a melting versus just like when I get like the cheaper wax melts or even when I try vendor wax, which I have enjoyed this year. I've definitely kind of dipped my toes into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, like the consistency isn't there for me quite as much. But I do think that with Scentsy, like they're mass producers. I think they have a system in place where they're able to work with that consistency and get that down a little bit more than maybe like an Etsy shop or someone who just sells like on their own website maybe can do. So it's not everybody.
I do like the car things that they have there, like the rubberized car ones.
Oh yeah.
Again, they're like $6 or whatever. I mean, I don't drive that much anymore right now. So it's like, you know, when I go back into the office eventually, I'll invest.
Yeah.
Someone here said, would either of you make your own candles outside of the Kringle experience? I have made my own at Yankee in the flagship store a few years ago. They actually have the option where you can make your own candle.
Yeah. Was that awesome? You like what you
Yeah.
came,
What was that?
you like what you came up with?
No. On paper, it was better. That you can put like 3 or 4 oils in there, right? And
Yep.
you just choose the concentration. It's only a small tumbler, so you
Right.
get only like a 7-ounce tumbler there.
Yeah.
It was unique. It was cool. I would probably do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole Kringle thing is going to be.
I'm super fascinated by what this process is going to look like, because I mean, like, I have never made a candle. I make like patio candles out of just leftover wax from Scentsy and stuff, but no, I've never like melted my own wax or put in the oils or anything like that. I feel like even if someone like backed me and I was able to have like a brand, knowing what the candle community is like, absolutely not. Nope. I wouldn't do it. I would not want to open myself up to the judgment.
Yeah.
I'd have a really hard time with that. I really would. It's actually part of the reason why I'm not doing wedding flowers anymore, because I don't like people looking at my work and judging it, because I'm like, these are beautiful flowers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's tough.
Was it the Candle Lab partnership, Carrie? Yeah, it was. It was when they did the thing there, the little bar area there.
That's cool that they had that.
Yeah, they started doing it in select stores, and it failed miserably.
Yeah.
And because they were taking the Yankee Candle store and they were actually putting in a bunch of other candle brands in the store.
Oh.
They were calling it Living by Candlelight.
Hmm.
They rebranded their stores to Living by Candlelight, and they put this candle making bar in the front, and then they had a bunch of like maybe 10 other candle companies that were not Yankee in there.
Yeah.
It just failed miserably.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's scary. People can get drama filled and nasty over wax. Yes. It's very scary.
Scented wax people.
Wax people are nuts. We are a different breed of individual, I feel.
Yes.
And there's differences between the different people. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So Eric says here he made his own perfume at Kringle. Do they still have that?
Oh, that's cool.
I have to see it. For some reason, I thought that was gone, but it could still be there.
I'm very curious to see like the whole Kringle like setup, like how like their store, their like the whole experience of like that situation. I think would be very, very interesting to see in person.
Yeah, I've been there once. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And they got rid of that. Yeah, they might have. It's been closed.
Yeah. It's been closed. Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Then they probably had to cut a lot of things during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the flagship is doing the wax hands yet, which is so awesome. You dip your hands in wax.
Change it to make off and such. Okay. They have a restaurant there too, right?
Yeah, that's currently going under renovation right now.
Okay.
They closed that down obviously during COVID.
Yeah.
And I think they're opening it in the spring.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd be curious to see that. It's like a farm to table kind of vibe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Farm Table.
Yeah, I like that.
They have their own olive oils and vinegars and stuff in the store.
See, I like that.
Mix and match wax brittles. Yeah, the wax brittles, that's also pretty neat. It's just like at Kringle, bunch of different like wax in big jugs or big containers, whatever, and it's like it's like single scented.
Yeah.
And you make your own.
Oh, that's cool. So you just like scoop it out and
it's in like brittle. Yeah, you just take it and put it in bags.
Oh, I like that.
It'd be like blueberry, balsam fir, lemon. You just like kind of put your own stuff in there.
That's really cool. I like stuff like that. I think that's kind of fun. How many days do you get out of a candle? Depends on the candle.
Yeah.
Bath and Body Works goes pretty fast. I think on average, I would say, so the homework range says 30 to 55 hours. I feel like I get somewhere between 35 and 40. I feel like that's my typical range. What do you think yours is?
Yeah, I'd probably say around that too.
Yeah.
Now, have you burned any of the ones with the new longer wicks yet?
No.
Okay.
Are those faster burning?
I can't tell. So I burned the Christmas cupcake so far.
Okay.
It did actually perform pretty well so far. I thought it was going to peter out, but yeah, it
Feel good?
still good.
Oh, good. God, this one, man, this spice apple crumb. You cannot get rid of this ever. Oh, you guys, if you've never tried this one, the next time it comes back, it's so good. I think this would be a good Slatkin and Co. core fragrance. Because I think that's where it came from, right? I think it smells just like apple crumb or apple crumble. It smells so good.
Yeah. Yeah, Ken's Breakfast Crew had super long wicks, right? So yeah. I've had ones where the wicks go up and then they curl over because of the plastic guard.
Yeah.
You know.
I think Harry changed the wicks. I think it was probably out of necessity, but I do think these wicks are different from what he had before.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be curious to see if maybe he can switch back at some point, because I really like the wicks that he had going there for a while. They were great. Like, he had the wick situation figured out for sure. What makes the wax turn brown or discolor? Is it from burning too long? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's part of it, because you're getting the wick trimmings falling in.
Yeah. That really does discolor it quite a bit. And I think also there's just like chemical reactions within the wax that happen, and probably the longer that you burn it, the greater that, like, you know.
Yeah, and the scent oils, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a question for Mick.
Yeah, it's totally, like, it's a science, you guys. Like, I had no idea until I watched that live that you did with Mick, which is the whole reason why I decided to even try Kringle again. Like, that was just really eye-opening to me, because to me, it was just like, just make me a good smelling candle that burns great to the end, you know, like, simple, right? But like, so much that goes into it that you just can't really, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, there's a ton of testing and all kinds of stuff. So
it's science, fine science.
So
all right, I think we're gonna call it.
Yeah,
this has been really, really fun.
This was the longest live ever. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this.
Absolutely. Thanks for hopping on. I think we'll do this more often. I think it's fun just to sit on here and chat. And I like doing it here instead of Instagram, because this will save to my YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, this was fun. I'll totally, like, I'm down anytime if we want to invite some other of the people. So we can convince other people to come on camera.
Exactly. I wish the one you and Harry got saved, because I think there's a lot of good information in there. It's a shame it didn't.
He didn't. It broke my heart, because I have so many people asking me, like, where can I watch that? And I'm like, oh, I don't think he saved it. I don't know. Harry and technology is kind of like me and technology, so I'm not surprised that it didn't get saved, but it was super fun. It was such a neat opportunity, for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So I will, thanks for watching. Everyone have a good holiday. I'll have some videos out there, and Melanie has one every day. Go check her out at Mrkongsmom.
Yeah. I'd love to have you.
I'll put a link when this video uploads and whatnot, and I'll add it in the description below.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much, Brett. And thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks everybody for hopping on.
Yeah.
And
these are great.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Toodaloo.
See ya.